Good evening, Eddie. Let me know if you can hear me. That would help. Uh, Von Attic, let me know. Yeah, let me know if you guys got. Okay, appreciate it, Easy. All right, give me a second. Hopefully, this other platform don't screw things up, and we should be able to get the party started. I appreciate you guys tuning in and giving me that audio check briefly. Um, and happy Wednesday to you folks. Hump day, hump day. Half the week is gone. Hopefully, it's been a good week, but we'll continue on with the show. And it hasn't been a good week for the president, so we'll leave it like that. It has not been a good week for President Trump, and it's not a good week for some of the folks that Trump is after either. We're going to talk about them and what is the purpose of doing so. So let me see if everything comes up. If so, we'll be able to start the program momentarily. Your video is a little blurry. Don't know why it's blurry. Let me see if I can make sure. Oh, I'm not on Wi-Fi. Okay, we'll move it over to Wi-Fi, and that should make a difference. When I have it on, what do you call it, on cell stuff, it does that. So bear with me as I make sure everything's on Wi-Fi and there's no Bluetooth in there. So hello, Tim. How's your day been? A lonely therapy. It's been okay. Just got off of work, so figured I'd come in here and talk to the folks. But the day was my day's pretty damn routine for what I do during the day. My day can be fairly routine. Occasionally, you have a bad work day, but it's fairly routine. So there goes. Anyhow, good evening, folks. Welcome to the program. Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. I want to make sure I'm able to, what do you call it? Mirror the screen proper apps. Some of these apps allow you to do that, and some of them don't. I wish I could figure out how on YouTube to mirror the screen, because I hate that my YouTube viewers seeing all of the graphics backwards. I don't know how to mirror it. If anybody on YouTube knows how to mirror the screen so that you're seeing stuff the right way, let me know, because we currently can mirror it on Clapper and TikTok so that it's accurate, but for some reason on YouTube I have not figured that feature out, and it's the same way on Instagram too. I don't have a lot of viewers on Instagram, so I'm not really sweating it on Instagram just yet, but certainly I would love to do it on YouTube, and I would like to do it on YouTube and also the other apps. So anyhow, good evening. Thank you for the hat and mustache. Yeah, Smokey. Good to see you here. If I can get my damn screen settled. But yeah, Trump's poll numbers are in the tank. Now, they've dropped a little bit more since this graphic. I used this graphic, but I believe his poll numbers are now in mid to low 30s. So make no mistake about it, Trump's poll numbers are dropping. Why is that? Is he not making America great? Why is the president's poll numbers dropping? We're going to talk about that, and I want to get your opinion on that. But his poll numbers are dropping. But before we start wrangling Trump's poll numbers, I want to talk to you about a couple other topics that are permeating the news that I think are important. And this stuff will affect people. This stuff actually will affect people, and it will hurt some folks. There are some folks that will be hurt by some of the things that are going on within the Trump administration. I'll give you a quick clip before we get into his poll numbers. I want you to hear, if I can find it. Okay, here's one of the clips. I mean, I gotta, before we do these shows, we bring up a lot of notes, but this one here I think is worthy of playing for you, assuming I get audio to it.
The end of temporary protective status for many Haitians is already being felt. As some workers lose their legal authorization to work, employers are already working to fill positions that have been held for years. From the nation's 10th largest school district to Florida's healthcare system, this effect's already being felt across South Florida. As CBS 12's Victoria DeCardenas reports, the healthcare industry could be among the hardest hit. She joins us live with the latest. Victoria.
Hey, good evening, Luli. Across South Florida, the end of TPS is creating immediate challenges for both workers and employers, leaving some spots and positions vacant while raising questions about how these businesses will replace their experienced employees. It's the first full day since TPS protections expired for many Haitians Monday night. According to immigration attorney Heriberto Hernandez, for many of those workers, the impact is immediate.
They're not going to have the ability to renew your driver's license. They will not be able to have a work permit. They're just going to be here without any lawful status.
The impact is already being felt in Palm Beach County. In a statement to CBS 12 News, the school district says 19 employees are no longer working after losing work authorization when TPS protections ended. Among them are school bus drivers, adding to a staffing shortage the district has been working to address for years.
So you hear the point. And this is not just happening in Florida, even though this newscast is coming out of Florida. Because, Trump talked about eating cats and dogs in Springfield. Anywhere there's a large population of these people is going to be greatly affected, because the moment we ended their temporary protected status, they no longer have work rights. This is something I personally dealt with myself when I lived in Australia. You can go visit a country as a tourist or whatever the case may be, but it's different to obtain work rights. And obviously, if you're going to live in a country, you want to be able to earn a living. So the minute TPS was revoked, the Haitians in this country lost their ability to work. So your job, you no longer can go. It's illegal for your employer to keep you employed. So many of these folks have been working at jobs for years, and boom, as of yesterday, they no longer have. But not only do they don't have that job, they can't get any job. It is illegal at that point for them to work in the United States. So this is now, remember, rapists and murderers, these are all working people that are all here legally. Remember, the whole claim is we're not anti-immigrant. We just want you to come here legally and abide by the law. That's what these people are. These are all legal migrants that were here abiding by the law, and now they are now deemed illegal. They are now, as of today, they are illegal immigrants. So by removing TPS, the Trump administration just literally out of thin air created probably at least 1 million illegal immigrants. Probably at least 1 million, because there's a ton of these people all over the country. So he just created a bunch of illegals. So when you hear folks saying that we don't want you to, we're not anti-immigrant, we just want to go after illegal immigrants, keep in mind they are creating illegal immigrants. These folks are now illegal. But I want to ask you folks, do you favor what is being done here? Because some are arguing that, they're here on a temporary protected status. Temporary means temporary. It doesn't mean you're going to be permanent. So you knew when you got here on this, it was going to only be temporary. Now, also keep in mind, there's a reason why you are granted temporary protected status. That means something is going on in your homeland that America sympathizes with you about, and they're going to give you temporary protected status here to protect you from having to deal with what you are dealing with in your homeland. We've removed TPS status, but the problem that existed in their homeland hasn't disappeared. So these folks are likely going to be deported right back into the environment that they achieved TPS status to escape. Things have not gotten better at home at all. So some of these folks are going to go back to some horrendous conditions, but I do want to end up getting some of you folks on here, particularly some of my, you know what I always say, my beloved MAGA, because I know I think most of my MAGA viewers favor what's going on here. So I do want to have a conversation with them about this. And keep in mind also TPS. That's the way the Cuban immigrants have been getting into America for a very long time. If you reached America's shores, you could get TPS status and stay here. So it applies to them as well. So it's not just Haitians. We're deporting Cubans back to Cuba in the middle of darkness because we are preventing that country from receiving oil and energy. So Cuba, a lot of it is in the dark. So we're deporting some of these folks back to a country that is currently in crisis. Want to hear from you folks how you feel about that. In addition to the entire immigration question, and I am going to ask you guys a simple question. Do you believe that Trump's, I want to say, gung-ho effort or his very strict effort to get rid of immigrants, do you believe it is indeed better for the betterment of America? Do you believe America will be better off if you get rid of millions of immigrants? And we're not, look, I know we're going to get into the conversation about how many damn people Biden let in here, and that's a legitimate conversation to have, but understand this TPS and all this other shit, this is going beyond just Biden's alleged open border policies. Now you're going at the regular immigrants that are here, law-abiding and following the law. But before we continue, I want you to check out this guy, because when I say anti-immigrant, I mean anti-immigrant. This is a immigrant attorney. He operates in Illinois and Wisconsin, but he apparently has a license to operate anywhere in the 50 states.
Applying for U.S. citizenship right now, USCIS just dropped 3 major policy changes that could completely change your N-400 naturalization process. Honestly, some of these haven't been used for more than 30 years.
Now, I want you to hear these changes that have been made by the Trump administration. This is a new video. And by the way, I need you folks on TikTok. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 10,000. It helps out the algorithm. And certainly on YouTube, where I want to talk to some MAGA, I need you guys to smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. But I want you to hear these 3 changes.
Hi, I am Attorney Jay Francis. I am a U.S. immigration lawyer based in Chicago and Wisconsin, but I serve all 50 states. First, they're bringing back neighborhood investigations. That means USCIS officers might actually show up at your workplace, talk to your neighbors, and investigate your community ties over the past 5 years. They stopped doing this over 30 years ago, but now they're saying the general waiver is over. Second, if you've ever registered to vote or voted when you weren't supposed to, even by mistake, you're getting a notice to appear for removal proceedings. No exceptions. They're being crystal clear about this one. But here's the part that affects everyone. They're completely changing how they evaluate good moral character. It's not just about avoiding trouble anymore. Now they want to see positive contributions to your community, volunteer work, family responsibilities, stable employment, and educational achievements. They're calling it a holistic approach, but basically, they want proof you're worthy of citizenship. Not just that you haven't broken any laws. They're also looking harder at things like unpaid taxes, overdue child support, and even repeated traffic violations as potential character issues. Have you been through the naturalization process recently? Drop a comment about your...
And he goes on to talk about a comment, but and thank you for the hat and mustache. I appreciate that. I think it was Debo that did that. But keep in mind, and alter ego, thank you as well. You hear what they're saying. They don't... now, simply staying out of trouble is not enough. They want to see contributions you've made to the country. They want to see evidence that you've remained employed, etc. I mean, this is going to net a lot of law-abiding immigrants that have no criminal history. This is, now, I talked about this on a live some months ago when I played a clip that, because the Trump administration wants, I think it is 100 or maybe it's 300. I'd have to find the old clip. But they want a few hundred citizens to be revoked every month. So they have a team of people in place. Their goal is to revoke citizenship. So it has nothing to do with illegal immigrants whatsoever. These are citizens they're going after now. These are citizens. So understand, like I said, the whole claim that they're not anti-immigrant is kind of falling on deaf ears. I want you to hear this. I'll play a few more, the last few seconds of this, but I want you to hear they want to show you're contributing to the United States. That could be anybody's opinion, by the way.
More. Now they want to see positive contributions to your community. They're completely changing how they evaluate good moral character. It's not just about avoiding trouble anymore. Now they want to see positive contributions to your community, volunteer work, family responsibilities, stable employment, and educational achievements. They're calling it a holistic approach, but basically they want proof you're worthy of citizenship.
Educational achievements. You know, there's a lot of folks that have come here, took the legal path. They're a legitimate green card holder or a legitimate citizen, but they still can't speak English. Why haven't you gotten an education and learned how to do it? They're saying they want to see educational achievements. So they want to see, they want you essentially to be far considerably better and more achieving than an actual American-born citizen, sounds like.
That you haven't broken any laws. They're also looking harder at things like unpaid taxes, overdue child support, and even repeated traffic violations as potential character issues.
Unpaid taxes, past due child support, parking tickets. I would be out. I'm going to be honest with you. As an American citizen born and raised in Chicago, this shit would trip me up if I was an immigrant. I don't qualify for this shit. And I'm assuming some of you folks don't either. Some of this stuff is actually higher demanding than the maintenance of an average citizen.
The naturalization process recently, drop a comment about...
And I'll continue. So we'll talk about that. To me, that's wild, because now that's about as anti-immigrant as it comes. Just call it for what it is. We're being anti-immigrant. All of this bullshit about rapists and murderers and illegal immigration, call it what it is. We are anti-immigrant. If you're not born in this country, we want you out. Even if you came through the legal process and was allowed to stay, if you were not born here, we kind of want you out at this point. Any other way to look at it is probably being disingenuous. Last but not least, a lot of you folks saw Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Biggest takeaway from that was him bombing in terms of the comedy he tried to deliver. The jokes just were not funny whatsoever. But something else he said at the White House Correspondents' Dinner that didn't get a lot of attention because he says it so often, that was that once again the Iranians are seeking a deal. They're asking for a ceasefire, was what he said. That was just this weekend? Well, within about 36 hours of him saying that the Iranians were begging for a deal.
Just in of air defense crews targeting incoming fire from Iran. A statement from Central Command says it happened a bit more than 2 hours ago. Multiple ballistic missiles aimed, CENTCOM says, at U.S. forces in the Middle East. Now, where in the Middle East was left unsaid, but Barak Ravid from Axios says it was a U.S. base in Jordan. Now, this comes about 10 hours after the president spoke positively about negotiations that he said were underway with Tehran, which Iran was denying.
And by the way, every time Trump has been saying that Iran is seeking a ceasefire or we're in talks with Iran, the Iranian government is actually releasing statements saying that shit is not true. They're actually countering him. Yet I'm talking to my MAGA side of the aisle, because MAGA tends to believe Trump a lot more than the average American without any evidence. But Trump has been saying they're begging for a ceasefire since day one, and they've been releasing statements almost since day one indicating we're okay to keep fighting you. They've actually released these damn Lego videos and all that shit, demanding they're demanding we put boots on the ground. So I just want to make you to understand that the information coming from Trump is like 180 degrees of the information coming from Iran. I'll have to end up asking you guys this as a poll question, but I'm going to ask you folks in the comments right now. When it comes to the Iranian conflict, I hate that I'm going to ask this question. It's probably going to sound unpatriotic to even say this, but I want to ask you folks in the comments, Who do you trust more when it comes to believing the information about the Iran war? President Trump or the nation of Iran? Who do you trust more, our president or the enemy? In the comments, real quick, Handsome Conservative says some call him a legend. Some call him an icon. Some call him the late night star on TikTok. I say he's the only man as humble as I am. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the handsome liberal, handsome conservative. I always love those openings. I really like those openings. Thank you very much, and for your support. So looking in the comments, though, I'm going to say it looks like, at least on TikTok, there's far more you guys that trust Iran's information being released on the war than you do President Trump. And I'll tell you this. One of the things I will say about the information coming out of Iran is they actually do confirm casualties. Iran, I don't know if it's to play on the sympathy on the worldwide stage or whatever, but they do release information. When we attack them and we kill people, they do tell you how many people got killed and all of that. President Trump, his administration is obviously reducing the casualty count and downplaying what the strikes are doing. Now, this video I just played you shows that they were trying to attack U.S. bases, and the information coming from CENTCOM, Central Command, is that we shot all of their shit down, and none of that stuff made it through. I'm going to tell you my humble opinion. I don't trust what they're saying. And we'll find out in the future how much Iranian ordnance got through and hit its targets. But the Trump administration, in my opinion, when it comes to casualty count, they're downplaying stuff. They're not being forthcoming on. I mean, they don't want the Iranians to know if any of their missiles or bombs are having success. I get it, but you also are kind of lying to the American people at the same time. So it's kind of a 6 1/2 dozen of the other. So you guys know how I run the program. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone on the show. All folks are welcome, regardless of your political affiliation. We go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having dinner with Q. We are MAGA friendly, always have been MAGA friendly, always will be. And for some folks who watch, who might be, you ain't fucking MAGA friendly. Understand, when I say MAGA friendly, I mean we are open to MAGA coming on the program, giving their opinions without any concern of being blocked, banned, or censored because they lean right, left, or indifferent. MAGA friendly doesn't mean we kiss Trump's ass all the time, because we don't kiss the ass of liberals all the time. That's not friendly when you're just, basically kissing somebody's ass. We say friendly, we mean we're friendly to MAGA viewers. Not President Trump. If he does something wrong, we bring it up. If he does something right, we give him credit. So I'll go ahead and start taking callers. This video is quick, but I don't know if we're going to talk about this or not. Dr. Fauci, it's in the news. They got him under oath. The guy has, pled no contest, pled the fifth, whatever you want to call it, over 100 times or some shit. I want you to hear Chris Cuomo of CNN give an interesting opinion about this.
When he never pleaded it in like the hundreds of times, or certainly the handful of times that he's talked.
Hang on a second. Let me rewind it from the beginning.
The breaking news is that Tony Fauci is pleading the fifth. Why is he pleading the fifth this time when he never pleaded it in like the hundreds of times, or certainly the handful of times that he's talked about COVID-19 specifically? Why is he doing it now, especially after a preemptive pardon? Well, the reason is his lawyers have convinced him that if he were to be accused of having to lie about something now, it may not be covered by the pardon. Or there could be a state that hears what he says and decides to prosecute him at the urging of Rand Paul or any other politician or on their own accord, and the pardon wouldn't cover that. So even though he has a preemptive pardon, I do get why there is a concern, and he certainly believes this, and so do his lawyers, that they're going to twist things and try to get him into a position where they can accuse him and say that the pardon doesn't hold because it's not something he said in the past, it's something new, and that he can therefore be charged, and that's why he did it. And in a civil setting like this, there is an inference when you say you're taking the fifth that there's something that you may feel that you have to hide. I do not believe that that's how Tony Fauci feels. but I do believe he's listening to his lawyers. I do believe he's an older man now, and he's at an age and stage where he doesn't want to deal with this anymore. And I think
so. What he's saying, because Dr. Fauci got a pardon from the Biden administration, but what he is saying is they got him under oath. Because that's the first thing I'm wondering. Why would you have this guy under? Why are you doing investigations on a guy that's received a complete pardon already? And what Cuomo is trying to indicate is they're trying to trip him up. So they're trying to get him. What is it called when you lie? Perjury, whatever. Like what they got Bill Clinton on, saying that he didn't have sex with whatever her name was at the time, the woman who sucked him off. But he has a pardon from Biden, but if he lies under oath, Cuomo is saying that he believes that there's a possibility they will try to trip him up and get the courts or whatever, or the Congress or whatever, to say that your pardon does not cover you just perjured yourself in 2026. Biden's pardon does not cover this perjury. So if he says something now that goes against something he may have said during the pandemic, then you just lied. So, it could open the door up for him to be perjured now. And I think perjury in front of Congress, 5 years or something like that. So Cuomo is saying it's not that, Dr. Fauci is really trying to duck and dodge the courts or tell lies. It's just like, these people that are interviewing you does not have your best interest at heart. And I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, is there anybody that believes the Republican Party is really open and unbiased in these interviews? Everybody already has their mind made up about Dr. Fauci. The only reason he's being interviewed by these folks is they believe he is guilty. And I actually do agree with Cuomo is that they're trying to trip him up in some shit. So he's doing what his lawyers are saying. Just don't, plead the fifth. Don't say shit. You can't get in trouble if you don't say anything. So going straight to the comment section, Trump took the fifth 450 times, says Nathan Reed. Did Republicans complain about that? No. And thank you. Wow. Gangsta grandma. Appreciate that. No, they didn't complain about that. They complained about Hillary Clinton, though. Remember when Trump said that if you plead the fifth, it means you work for the mob. It means you got something to hide. And yes, for the most part, MAGA agreed with that. But then when Trump got in front of the system and he pled the fifth a whole bunch of times, they somehow started believing that, well, the system's out to get him, so we understand that. So, listen, people have their own biases on it. I get it. And I'm going to tell you flat out, I do agree with Cuomo. I mean, this guy's like 80 plus years old. There's a lot of well-respected research and science that Dr. Fauci has contributed to this great nation before the pandemic. He was in very high regard before the pandemic for all his HIV work. The guy is like he's in his mid-80s. To be going after him, yeah, they are absolutely trying to catch him up in some shit. It would make for a good diversion, considering all of the other things that are going on. So let me go ahead and start the program with the one and only Gangsta Grandma. Gangsta.
I got a confession.
You know why? You're not in church. I can tell your shit. Understand that.
I got a confession. You know why I've been so damn nice to your ugly ass with your biscuit ass?
Is that what you've been doing?
Yeah, you know why I've been so nice?
No, I don't, because I didn't know you were being nice.
Because I've been on my happy pills.
Are you ever sober?
Yes.
I don't think we've ever talked. I don't think we've ever talked and you were sober. I don't think we've ever talked and you were actually sober.
Actually, I can't fuck with you when I'm sober because I'm going to go to jail, honey boo-boo. Because I can't. See, even if we do meet up next month in a few weeks, just to do a live, yes, I'll be high then too.
I don't think I've ever really been around a woman that was high, so I'm going to have to end up learning this when I'm with you. So I haven't been around.
Never been with nobody. Not been with. Like sexually, I'm talking about hello, okay?
Yeah, I've been around a few people. Yes, I'm fucking with you. I've been around some drunks and I've been around some crack addicts. So I'm just fucking with you.
I'm not that though. I'm a pothead, but okay. I got some other, because my back is hurting really bad. You feel what I'm saying today?
Oh, so I didn't do that.
No, you didn't. I know, Tim. You wanted to bust my back, but your little peckerwood couldn't do it.
What brings you?
You're a white boy, Tim.
What?
You're a white boy.
Yeah, okay.
And guess what, though? His numbers is really low, though. Lower than that. It's like a 31%, though, dog.
Why do you? Let's get into it. Why do you believe his poll numbers? Because that's lower than MAGA, by the way. MAGA's about 35%. Why is his poll numbers?
I guess he's losing his little Maggies. I mean, come on now, shit.
I still regularly get guests that suggest that Trump is the best president we've ever had. Why is his poll numbers dropping?
Why do you think the poll numbers are dropping? We got a WAR. We got a cracker in office. I don't get
what the fuck? All of them are. Wait. Why are you calling the man a cracker? All the presidents other than Obama are white.
Actually, you know what he really does look like?
Big guy. Thank you.
He really is an orange orangutan. He's trying so hard to be brown. He tries so hard to be brown, but it's coming out orange.
But what about his look? Okay, listen.
White tea man who go to the salon and come out fucking orange. They try to come out brown, mofo.
Okay.
And I'm gonna come out orange.
Shirt 14. Wait, hold on. Let's talk about his governance. I get you don't find him visually stimulating. You don't want to fuck him. I get that. But what? Well, he is a billionaire. He might be. Wait. Hold on. Trump is a billionaire. He might be to squirt a few million on your belly. You might like him. You might like him.
You know what, dog? Let me tell you something. All good money. All money's not good money, baby. And I got my own money. I'd rather be middle class, upper middle class, than ever have that specimen on my belly. Okay? I tell you, I could never stoop that low. I could never. And I'm sorry to the white tea people. If you think that's sexy and he has money, hey, more power to you. I would never sell my soul.
Well, understand there are no shortage of women.
I know you would, Timmy Tim. My little honey boo-boo. I can't wait, Johnson, to meet you because it's going to go down. Not in a sexual way, but on the line, Tim. I got to practice of being nice and kind. That's going to kill me.
Listen,
listen.
I don't have a problem with you going down or whatever you just said, but I'm just simply saying that it would be interesting, particularly with you being high. Giant robot, appreciate the TikTok cap. So his poll numbers.
Medication, baby. I'm on my pain medication.
Let me ask you this way: can his poll numbers be corrected? We still got 3-4 months into the midterms. Can this be corrected?
No.
Nothing.
Let me tell you something. He's destroying He's destroying this country, Tim. You know, he let the racist the racist people out and let them have big balls. You feel what I'm saying?
What do you mean? No, I don't get that. What do you mean?
He's letting them out. Like he's giving them you go ahead, be big and bad.
You mean you believe he's emboldening racists to be out about their behavior?
He is. But I'm gonna tell y'all motherfuckers something. Say the N-word to the wrong motherfucker and you're gonna be pew pew. You feel what I'm saying? But but you see the white tea people with the hats. They don't go in the hoods though.
But wait a minute, are you blaming? But let's talk about. Hold on, I get you. You feel some citizens have hate in their heart, but let's talk about the president himself. Do you believe President Trump himself is actually a racist?
Yep.
Based on what?
You walk like a duck, you talk like a duck, you a quack like a duck. Unfortunately, the ducks are cute. I have to say a duck though. Poor little ching-ching.
What has Trump? I'm gonna put on my MAGA hat and ask what my MAGA audience wants to know. What has Trump done?
Tim,
what has Trump said or done?
Tim, promise me one thing. When we meet, do not bring the MAGA hat. When we meet, do not bring the MAGA hat, Tim.
What?
I will not touch it. I will burn it. I promise you, Tim.
How could you call Trump racist with that much hate in your heart? You sound like the one that's hateful.
I don't like red. You know what I mean?
Maybe they don't like black.
Well, that's on what shit. Yeah, they don't like black. They don't like our asses. That's right. That's right. They don't.
What you're doing?
Tell it. They don't like us. They don't like our black asses.
You are.
God forbid the black men got bigger dinglings than the little white man. They should take a damn course about getting some bigger dinglings instead of hating on our asses.
You sound like
That's
you're
what a white
trying to.
woman
You
goes
actually
to
sound
our
like
asses.
you're making the error of attempting to point out hate while being hateful
Who said
yourself.
that?
You
Who said
sound
that?
hateful.
I said-
You
Tim,
sound hateful.
Tim,
I'm listening.
you are the biggest snowflake I ever did fucking meet.
The hell does that got to do
You
with
are
this?
the king of fluffing. You are the biggest house ninja I ever did see. Yes, Massa. You know, you're so hateful, Massa. Oh, hit me. I like you like that. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay. What
Then
is?
you got your little pervert that likes little girls up in there, Darth Vader. He loves the Trump. The Trump just like his ass.
What has Trump done to make you suggest he's a racist? What has he actually done or said?
One, he said this. He said this. They are bringing over. They're bringing. I haven't said nothing bad. I'm not angry. They are bringing over. I can't be angry. I'm too high. They are bringing over rapists and murderers, all of them,
Well,
and they're letting them out of the, of the jails. You feel what I'm saying?
well, some
the
of them.
last thing was the 5 young black men in Central Park. Then in the 70s, him and his father got what is it called? Got
Big guy. Thank you. Well, first of all, let's go to modern time. I don't want to hear about something in the 70s. What about now? What about now? What has Trump done in the last 10 years? What has he done in the last 10 years? What has he done in the last 10 years?
What is he doing about ICE? What is he doing with ICE? Why is he kicking out? Why is he only kicking out Haitians? Why is he not kicking out white people that overstayed the visits? Why is he only kicking out the Haitians, though, that are legally here? Why is he only doing it to black and brown people? Only here. Why is he doing that? Because I don't see no white people crying and doing all that. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, there are some. There are white immigrants being put out.
Tim, go get your leash. I got something for you.
This ain't got nothing to do with this. Ain't got nothing to do with a leash.
Tim. Get off your knees, Tim. I'm gonna bring you some. You know what? Attention, people. When we go live together, he's gonna have some knee pads. So I'm gonna bring some. Just for Tim. And guess what, Tim? I will go tomorrow personally and get Tim on him. Tim on their knee pads. How about that?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm still not hearing anything that Trump did to make him a racist. I'm just hearing you. Maybe it's just something you think.
Tim, I just said it, Tim. All that is racism, Tim.
In the last
Let's
10,
do it.
in the last 10, give me something in the last. Give me
Good
some in the
people
last
on
10
both
years.
sides.
Give me some in the. I don't want to hear about.
I'm telling you now.
You're
Good people
just
on both
talking.
sides.
I'm not hearing anything.
Tim, seriously, good people on both sides.
What that makes him a racist?
That is a racism. Then he retweeted it. Then the Triple K was marching on the thing on 4th of July. Did he call them out? Hell no. Hell no.
Okay, so so what are you saying? Any white person that did not call out those folks who marched on the 250th anniversary, that automatically makes them a racist?
Yep.
Oh, come on. So do you call out every racist thing an African American does?
What's racist? They really can't really be racist.
That's bullshit. African Americans can be racist. We've had this talk.
Get off your knees, Tim.
It's ain't
That's
nothing to
why
do
your
with
wife
being
left
on
you.
my knees.
That's why your wife left you. You're such a cootie coon.
This has nothing to do with.
Milk biscuit, man. You really like those milk ass biscuits, don't you, Tim?
How
You
the
like those dry ass fucking milky biscuits. Because I gotta be. He can't be racist. So he's not racist. Everything he's doing is about racism. Taking black history out of our schools is that, and taking black soldiers off the wall.
Okay.
He tried to take my husband's shit out, and I was gonna mute him. What are you talking about?
I'm talking-
That's not racist, Tim. That's not racist, Tim.
Okay. First of all.
Tim? But I forgot, you're a punk. You didn't go serve for our country, right, Tim?
Oh my God. First of all, I'm not trying to say. First of all, how the hell do we get past all of the racism of yesteryear, if you're going to pretend like African Americans can't be racist, that removes all the credibility. Yeah, it does.
Shut up. They can be prejudiced or they can be bigot. But we cannot truly be racist.
Bullshit.
We didn't make this. We did not make the system. The system hates us. Go ask the white tea people why they made it up. Go ask the white tea people why they made color. Go ask the white tea people why they came to a brown country and took over and gave us syphilis and stuff, and gave the gang all the fevers and stuff to unalive the indigenous people. Why, Tim? Why?
I'll tell you in the comments. Bella66.
Born in the same era.
Yeah.
That little, I forgot his name.
Bella66 in the comments. In the comments, Bella66 says you are racist and disrespectful as fuck.
And that's coming from a white man. You want a cookie, bitch? I got a chocolate chip cookie.
I
don't have no sugar cookie for your ugly ass. I got chocolate cookie all day.
I'm just going to tell you the idea.
That's the reason why.
God, how can we have a show together if you just go on and on? Understand that. What am I going to do? Just sit there and look at you host the show?
No, I shut up. But I'm gonna call the asses out though.
Well, what you're doing is lying. When you say that African Americans can't be racist, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of before.
Show me a source. Show me a fucking source that black people can be racist. Show me.
They do the same, almost anything. I'm trying to respond to you.
Almost. Show me a source. The African Americans can be racist. Show me a source. Come on, Pookie and Ray. Come on, my little dumpling. Go show me a source. I'll shut up.
Almost anything that African Americans have encountered that they say is racist at the hands of a white person, there is an African American that's done that exact same thing to somebody white. So
we took. You know what? Let me tell you something. You buttermilk spoiled biscuit. Let me break this down to you. When has a white tea baby got unalived by the police? When did all black men go on a boat and unalive a white kid? When? Shut up. When? Because if it was the other way around, the black boys would be underneath the damn jail.
Okay.
Underneath the damn jail. Right now, they found shit, a call that they were saying that those white kids unalived him because they didn't know because he stopped breathing. Thank you, sweetheart.
Okay, but that don't mean it has anything to do with racism. No, it does not.
That's racist.
Bullshit.
What are you talking about? The white people unalive the black kids? You don't think that's not racist?
No, I don't think it automatically guarantees what happened is racist.
You are.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I think
you ain't no damn liberal. You're not even fucking a Democrat. No. You're a fucking nasty ass fucking napkin, man, for real. Bloody ass napkin too. You nasty ass.
Okay, well, thanks for
the. Try to say it's not.
I want you to hear this.
Racism.
I want you to hear something. This is coming from your president.
That's not my president.
Black community than Donald Trump. And if you look, with the exception of Abraham Lincoln, possible exception, but the exception of Abraham Lincoln, nobody has done what I've done.
Did you hear what he just said, or were you just talking
through it? Nobody has done.
Nobody's done nothing but I've done, right? Yeah, Cookie? Well, guess what? None of them had. No one got $2 billion from us, stole from us. Corruption up the damn ass. We didn't go to war with Biden.
Why are you so hateful?
Right.
Why are you so hateful?
Am I hateful?
Yes. Yes.
I'm not hateful. I'm telling the fucking truth, Pookie.
If I had a white guest on here talking like you would be yelling that they're hateful racists.
The white guest will talk crap about Donald Trump and the maggots?
If I had somebody on the show, that talks like you, you would be saying that person is racist. If they said the same stuff you're saying,
What am I saying that's racist? Oh my God. If it was the other way around, you know what? You are a coon, for real. We we would have left your ass behind if I was back in the day and saving the slaves. I would. You a house ninja. You a type of ninja that would sit in the house thinking you gonna do something. The white man's gonna pamper you or something while they fuck you in the ass without a condom.
I don't know why you're so hateful. I gotta move it on, but you gotta get this hate out your heart. You gotta get this hate out your heart.
Let me tell you something. Why I'm so hateful? You think I am? Look what the country's going through, Tim. All our shit is being slashed. The old people is gonna lose their benefits. Medicare D. They had to pay more for this shit. Okay, hungry people is every day. This kid's going hungry because he took away SNAP benefits. Every day there's somebody got new going into the homeless, going homeless because they cannot do the rent. And you want me to kiss his ass and say, yes, massa, yes, massa? No, Tim, I'm not like you, Tim. I'm not going to sit here and panhandle to the white tea man and give him cookies for something he's destroying, nigga. Now I got to go.
All right, calm down. Have another drink. Tap the screen and get the likes up. In the comments, Handsome Conservatives wanted to give her a point, but she was so hyped, I went ahead and gave her the way out. But Handsome Conservative says, if you don't like the way the country is going, pick a decent candidate next time. I agree with that. I actually do agree with that. Tap the screen and get the likes on up to 25,000. We'll take the next caller. In the comments, maybe it's the port wine that's taken. Oh my God. Juneteenth is a real holiday. That is the truth. I do agree with that part. I have interracial people in my family just saying they my family too. We eat together, no problem. Don't play in my face though, says Teddy Owens. Fair enough. Tap the screen. We're talking about Trump's poll numbers. Listen, the idea that African Americans cannot be racist, I get that there are some African Americans that disagree with me, but I don't think we're going to move the unity meter forward at all by pretending like only white people can do something. And if you're black and you do the same thing to another American citizen, somehow you're not being racist when you do the same thing and the person you're victimizing has the same outcome. To me, that makes no sense to me. And I don't ever believe, I've never been one to believe that your side has to control all of the systems and the mechanisms in place. Otherwise, what you're doing is not racist. There's a whole lot of mini microsystems within our country. Everything doesn't go all the way up to the president of the United States. I mean, if a whole fucking town is ran by black people, well, they can't be racist in that town. They control all the systems in that town. They can't be racist. That to me makes no sense whatsoever. And like I said, I don't think it forwards the unity meter at all by ignoring the fact that we can do some stuff on our side as well. In the comments, Giant Robot says you might own a black business and only hire black people. That's the point I'm making. And we know damn well if a white business owner done that, we call it racist. But for some reason you change the skin color and now it's not racist all of a sudden, even though the victim is experiencing the same outcome? Doesn't make sense. We'll go to the next caller. I disagree that black people can be racist. Black people just got a different nature when it comes to racism. Like I keep saying, if you are a black or an African American victim of racism and take in consideration why you're being victimized, what you went through. If somebody black does the same thing to a white person and they end up going through the same type of victimization that you went through, how the hell is it not racist? You guys both got treated the same, had the both same damn outcome. How the hell is one getting a different terminology than the other when the outcomes are the same? That makes no sense to me at all. That just doesn't. And folks are trying to, I don't know, you trying to twist words or something to make one side a victim and the other side be impossible to be victim? Yeah, let me go back to the box, get us up to 25,000. We'll take the next caller. In the comments, show us the white people who are victims of racism. Wow, you've never heard of a white person that went to a school that was predominantly black and he beat his ass for being white? You've never heard of people that got robbed or white because the person thought a white person would make an easier lick? You ain't never heard of none of this stuff? We know damn well if they came there and they wouldn't have robbed us, we call them racist, right? It happens. It happens. Now, if you want to talk about the cops or you want to talk about politics, there are areas of racism that blacks have not reached the pinnacle where they can do it, but there's plenty of low areas of this shit that blacks do all the time. There's plenty of low area. Everything don't have to be at the highest level of achievement to be racist. Juneteenth is not a holiday. It's just a way to divide the American people, says Handsome Conservative. Yeah, I vehemently disagree with that. You guys know we talked about this on Juneteenth and on July 4th. July 4th don't mean shit to black people. It means absolutely nothing to the progression or independence or whatever you want to call it, liberation of African Americans. July 4th means absolutely nothing to them at all. Nothing happened on July 4th, 1776 that was beneficial to the black population at all. So yeah, I absolutely believe Juneteenth should have been a holiday the moment they granted them freedom. It should have been noted in history the moment they were granted freedom. I don't know what are we. So we're going to celebrate the day the white man gained freedom from the British, but we're going to ignore the day the black man gained freedom from the white person. Now that starts to sound a little bit racist. Let me go back to the box. We'll go to Stick the Ruler. Tap the screen, help your boy out with the hat and mustache. Tick tock cap goes. We're talking about deporting Haitian migrants now. I don't know if you heard the clip that I played, Stick. Good evening.
Hey, what's going on? You can play it again, Tim.
I want you to hear, yeah, you may have not been around. I do want you to hear this. I think
More for the black.
I don't want to. This is Trump saying he's done more for blacks than anybody since Abraham Lincoln, but that's not what we're here to play. I want you to, if I can find it, my clips are all over the damn place, but this is what's good. Now, this is happening down in your state.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Luli Ortiz. Tonight, the impact of the end of temporary protective status for many Haitians is already being felt. As some workers lose their legal authorization to work, employers are already working to fill positions that have been held for years. From the nation's 10th largest school district to Florida's healthcare system, this effect's already being felt across South Florida. As CBS 12's Victoria DeCardenas reports, the healthcare industry could be among the hardest hit. She joins us live with the latest. Victoria.
Hey, good evening, Luli. Across South Florida, the end of TPS is creating immediate challenges for both workers and employers, leaving some spots and positions vacant while raising questions about how these businesses will replace their experienced employees. It's the first full day since TPS protections expired for many Haitians Monday night. According to immigration attorney Heriberto Hernandez, for many of those workers, the impact is immediate.
They're not going to have the ability to renew your driver's license. They will not be able to have a work permit. They're just going to be here without any lawful status.
So TPS just ended. So all Haitians that are on TPS, which probably represents a large chunk of them, They can't work in the country. They can't renew their licenses. They are now just, and they're currently illegal immigrants as well. They're now illegal immigrants. So all of that, eating cats and dogs in Springfield and all of that shit, they're now illegals. And I played a video earlier about all of the ways they're going after actual citizens. We the Rabble says, hey, Tim, I just found out your dad had some debt with me. When are you paying up? Well, my dad's been dead almost 30 years, so I'm not going to pay his debt up. July 4th doesn't mean shit to black people because they don't want to be Americans. We'll talk about that as well. That's crazy. But how do you feel about Trump removing the temporary protected status of the Haitian population and the Cubanos, by the way? What say you?
So this is what I'll say. I'll say what he's already done told you. This is the plan. He don't want you here. He thinks your country is a shithole country. He's told you that. It's nothing that I'm, was secretly told or I got privy to. Yeah, I was privy to it because he said it on national fucking TV. So, I mean, why is it still we asking questions about his racism? And then on top of that, definitely questioning, can black folks be racist? Tim, I just said I was going to talk up for you the other day. because you showed your liberalism, but then
Thank
you
you.
doing piss me off. Goddamn it.
I don't like it, Stick. I don't like it. Let me say it like this. If three white guys, let's say you're out at a cookout or somewhere, you're out camping or some shit. Three white guys beat the hell out of you while yelling the N-word while they're beating you up. Is that racist? Did they treat you in a manner that was racist?
See, it's not the N-word that's racist, right? In this situation, it's the actions. The actions that they're doing because they're beating me up only because I'm black. Yes, that's a racist act,
Okay,
right?
fair enough. So let me ask you: you got a white person that's out at a cookout or out camping or something like that, and three black people beat them up while yelling all kinds of racial epithets at them. Is that racist?
You ready to laugh?
Yes.
No.
Why is it not racist when the white person is getting their ass kicked, but it is when the black person is getting their...
So okay, the black folks can be bigoted, the black folks can be biased, the black folks can be prejudiced. However, they cannot be racist purely because the skin color, in this case, does not have the power. And I know you don't like that. I know you don't like that.
I don't think it matters. Wait, Stick. It ain't that I don't like it. It don't fucking matter. It doesn't...
Listen, Tim. The power structure, like you said, is levels to that shit. We're not at the top level.
The person on the ground that got their ass beat has... Who gives a shit what the power structure is? To the white person on the ground that got their ass beat, that's irrelevant.
No, listen. I know you want it to be. I'm just sorry. You can't be like them. You're
That's
not like
crazy.
them. There's nothing. The system was not built for you to be or copy them. And then when you do copy them, they destroy it. When you get better than them,
That ain't what... That's not what I'm...
blood,
Stick. Hold on. Stick.
It's not built for you, so you can't be a part of it.
Hold on. Here's the point I'm making. To the African American that got beat up by the three white people that's on the ground and now needs stitches, and the white person that's on the ground that got beat up by the three African Americans that's on the ground and also needs stitches, they're going through the same situation. Who gives a shit what it's called? The outcome of it is the exact same. So if you want to say, well, the black guy was a victim of racism, this other person that needs stitches is the victim of bigotry, then I'm going to submit to you that racism and bigotry are synonyms then, because the outcome is the same.
What you're saying is false because, again, we've had a white teen little young boy go...
that ain't got nothing to do with the example I just gave you, though.
You said the same. You said the goddamn same. Let me show you the racism in it. He gets 10 years. The young black boy gets 35. The racism. See it? You got it. Do you understand it?
Okay, so wait, hold on.
Eat 2 pieces of bread and eat it.
No,
Understand? That's what it is.
No, based on what you're saying that whites can be racist and the penalty for being racist is not as great as a black person being racist. I can have a conversation with you with that, but that doesn't mean you change the definition of racism. Just like a black person, a black person can commit a crime, and we know the justice system is likely to be more harsh on people who are impoverished or people who are minorities than it is on wealthier people or than it is on whites. But that don't mean that they didn't both commit a crime. You don't change the name of crime to something else. They both committed a crime, just the law is enforcing one of them more harshly than the other.
How about this, Tim? Tell me, all the white men that created civil rights, why do we need civil rights? Because they was doing the racist ass shit that we wasn't doing, that we can't do. That we was getting blamed for certain things and being dismembered. Just like now.
I'm not arguing with any of that.
Just like now, you found a young man, went off with some white tea men, right? Or young boys, whatever they was, and he gets found a couple of days later in the woods dismembered.
You're talking about the Nolan Wells case. You're talking about Nolan Wells. I'm going to say some more unpopular shit.
No, I ain't talking about...
Who are you talking about found in the woods?
Oh, hold on. Yeah. No, Nolan Wells, ain't that the boy that just got...
That's Mississippi on the island.
They They try to say he drowned or he had a situation.
Well, they don't really know yet. The autopsy's been
That's not him.
it's been
I'm talking
inconclusive.
about the others. See, it was before this. See, this is a thing that's been happening. That young man was not found in the woods. He was found like in the water or something. That's what you talking about.
Yeah, here's why I mean, I can give you a million different reasons why I disagree with this stuff, but here's one of the things I believe is that if a white person harms a black person, we automatically think they're racist. But when black people harm one, there are plenty of black dudes that use white girls as pimps and kill them all the time. We never go yelling at the black dude as a racist. Even though the outcome is still the same, is what I'm trying to tell you. The outcome still, the person is dead. They don't care about the system or the stuff you're talking about.
Let me get this straight. So what you're proposing is, if it's a black pimp and he got white hoes, he should get a hate crime charge?
What is that not slavery? I mean, what is? Hold on. If you got somebody, hold on. What is the difference between pimp and a slave? You got this person, you're beating them, you're forcing them to work, and you're not paying them. You're taking off. What is the difference between pimping and slavery? Modern day slavery.
Now listen, Tim. First of all, I don't get down with no type of domestic violence. I believe you're a bitch ass dude if you hit a woman. Let me get that out the way first of all. However, what I am gonna say, Ben, is you gave me this bullshit ass analogy about pimps and hoes. That's what it is. They know that they hoes. What are we talking about?
So all of them. So they all volunteer. They all volunteer.
They done all watch Huggy Bear. They done all watch Shaft and all them old motherfucking movies, especially the ones with motherfucking Bill Cosby and motherfucking what's the other one? Skinny Man, Richard Pryor. They done watched all them movies and they played pimps and was with pimps. They seen hoes get smacked down. Even if that was a fallacy, they knew that might be a part of it because that's what I seen on TV. So at the end of the day, when they choose to be hoes, they choose to be hoes, Tim. When I chose to pick, look, I did not get drafted. I raised my right hand. I knew I was going into the military. I even signed a fucking contract. Same goddamn thing. You know this shit might come off. We might go to war. You know you gotta suck some D and you gotta fuck some.
I'm gonna tell you.
Don't bring me my bottom line. I'm gonna smack the shit out you. That's their job.
Right. Hold on. Let me get in here. Right after the Emancipation Act, right after African Americans were freed from slavery, many of them, not having any knowledge of the new land, chose to remain on the plantation as sharecroppers. According to you, because the guy did it voluntarily, the former slave owner was doing nothing wrong. Hey, you knew what was going on. We picked cotton here.
So not one time did I say he was doing them the right way. I said they understood the assignment. They know they hoes. When you know that you free and you choose to stay your ass there, I'm gonna be honest with you. You the dumbass.
Oh my God.
If you know, listen. If you got emancipated, you found out that you're free, and you choose to stay with the motherfucker that used to put scars on your back, that's on you. That's like a form of Stockholm syndrome, which they didn't have it back then, right? They didn't have it back then. It wasn't even probably heard of. However, common. Now that we know that's possible, that's possible. So now we're talking actually mental and medical and all sorts of other shit. Maybe they scared of this big world that they know there's other white folks out there that would probably unalive them.
I really think this.
They had to deal with.
I really think this hurts the cause to end racism altogether by pretending that only one side can do it. In the comments, Rita Rebel says the only reason. Hold on. Rita Rebel says the only reason you can't be racist is because you're held to the standard of animals. That sounds kind of racist, Rita Rebel. What do you mean held to the standard of animals? That sounds kind of racist itself, but.
And we're sitting up here, fucking being psychologists, TikTok psychologists, analyzing pimps and hoes with this motherfucker saying this bullshit.
Yeah, but what's the difference between, let me ask you though, what's the difference between what he just said, which I admit sounds racist, and Gangsta Grandma? She says the same shit.
No, Gangsta Grandma tells you the truth.
Oh my God. Really? Oh my, she's calling them crackers, Stick. She literally called them crackers. That's a racial slur.
No. That's the word that they made up. That's the word that they made up for themselves.
Oh my God! Really?
You ain't never watched Roots? You ain't never watched Roots?
Yeah, but so because they
When Master Mo was drunk in the back, right?
that ain't got nothing to do with modern day people.
Let me finish.
Oh my God!
When he got stopped and they asked him, did he know Nat Turner? And they said, oh no, this cracker is drunk and this nigga is harmless.
Oh my God! So you're telling me because the word was made up by whites, cracker is not meant to be an insult to white people?
No, the word cracker is something that they made up.
Is it meant to be when an African American uses it? Is it meant to be insulting?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
My point is made. Then that's my point.
No. When they say the N-word, they trying to actually go to your soul, like delete you mentally and possibly physically. Like that. We just saying cracker. No, nothing. What can be hurt about it? We can't do nothing to them. However, they catch us. Guess what they can do? Take us out on a boat, act like they cool with us, slam us on our goddamn.
You make it sound like it
because their parent is a motherfucking judge.
You make it sound like there are no African Americans taking white people out on a boat or doing something and harming them. We harm white people in the hood all the time.
Okay, tell me who it was. Tell me who it was. Go ahead.
You want me to tell you? You want me to
took out on a boat and did that shit to him. Tell me who it was.
You want me to tell you stories about African Americans that broke into white homes and killed the inhabitants? That's never happened at all, huh?
You think that was because they was broke, but they was there for some jewelry and the owner woke up?
I know if it happened to us, we would say it was because of racism.
What? So hold on. So the criminal that broke in and smoked the people, when they get up there on the stand, they gonna say, "Oh, the only reason I'm here, even though I smoked these people, is because they racist." That's what you're saying.
No. What I'm saying is, if some of them came to our neighborhood and went in our house and did something, first thing we would do is yell racism. That's the first thing we would do.
No. Okay, so first of all, the only thing they gonna do is do what the little coward did, was pull up to the party and start shooting at people while they was dancing and shit because he was upset. Them motherfuckers know better than just walk up into a black house. They liable to get jumped on by grandma. Like she might pull her Medea purse out and pop him.
Let me say it.
So
this is what I'm saying.
Everything that they do, they're gonna do everything that they do from the street. So the difference is between us, we ain't even finna pop up to their house. We don't do that shit.
No, I agree with you.
If you saying black people go in houses and rob it, I can agree. Everybody does that.
Okay, here's the point. Here's the point I'm trying to make.
No, hold on, Tim.
Okay.
We're not going in there to kill them just because they white. Stop that shit.
Here's the point I'm trying to make. Both, and you disagree with this, I get it, but both sides can be racist. Even though you're right, most of the mechanisms of the system are controlled by Caucasians. Then we find other ways to do it. Just like when we attacked Vietnam, they can't conventionally fight the American military head for head. They found other guerrilla tactics to do the same. They're still attacking people. They may not drop bombs and do it, but they found other ways to do it. African Americans have found other ways to be racist that don't involve needing a system to be behind it. You're still being racist, though. You're still victimizing people. We do it too.
I'm gonna say it again, Tim. You look around you find me one incident where just because they was white, a black person, period, woman or man, jumped on them just because they was white. Not because of anything other than that they was.
You don't think that's ever happened? You don't think black people ever do that? You don't think anybody black ever jumps on the white person because they're white? It never. You don't think anybody white strays off into a black neighborhood or maybe some black dude? Hold on. Hear me out. Hold on. You don't think some black dude maybe has a white girlfriend and when he's in the bathroom, the other black girls at the bar beat the shit? You don't think any of that stuff ever happened, huh?
No, because listen. Number one, okay. I'm not looking at the white dude at the end of the bar, worried about him being at the bar because he white. I'm looking at his ass, making sure he don't pull out and just spray all our ass in his
I'm going to tell you straight up. You need to talk to. You need to talk to some. You need to actually.
No. You could be in the church praying with your head down, And when you look up, it might be a white man with an AR unalive in your congregation.
No, your point. Here's what you're doing. You're pointing out ways that Caucasians can be racist to us, but downplaying the methods we might use to be racist to them. That's what you're doing. When we do stuff that is victimizing them, you find all kinds of other names and terms for it. But you can clearly see when they're doing something to us that's racist. But when we do it to them, it's something like you're gonna tell me there's never been a white person that went to a predominantly black school and they fucked with him just because he's white. That has never happened.
I don't believe so. Tell me about it. Listen. Tell me about it. I'm listening. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for it. Okay. I mean, I can tell you about plenty of times.
Who that galaxy? You got a visitor. Who did that galaxy come from?
Real quick, they mess with their own kind. That's why they got movies like Rudy. Hold on. That's why they got movies like Rudy. They got the dude that played in The Mummy. He played a Jew back in the day. They had him out in the rain. He was waiting on to whoop one of their ass. Like, this is the shit that they do systematically, and they've been doing it since the beginning of time. Okay. Or at least since they brought up racism.
Okay, you gotta hold on, hang on, Jeremy. You gotta guess real quick in the comments. We the Rebel says if you want to be free of human standards, then be an animal. We the Rebel. What is up with all these animal stuff? I'm just going to tell you that. Are you? Hold on, Jeremy. Are you watching me read a Rebel on YouTube? Are you holding me to the standard of an animal? I'm assuming you see the monkey when you look at the screen or something. I don't know. That sounds racist. Jeremy, talk to me. What did you come up for? What's up?
Oh, because I got a perfect example. There were 3 black teens who kidnapped a white mentally handicapped kid and broadcast on Facebook Live as they tortured him in one of their bathrooms and kept saying, come on, Ninja, fuck white people, over and over and over again, and beat his ass. They were actually convicted of it.
Stick?
You're welcome, Stick.
Okay, so...
Look how he changes the goalposts.
Hold on. When did this happen?
This happened, let's see, I'd say about 2018 and 2022, somewhere around there. It was when Trump was, I think it was in Trump's first term, yeah. So it was like somewhere around that time. So probably between 2020 and 2016.
So this is my thing, right? I hear the story, I look it up, I don't know anything about it, never heard about it, ever.
Let's say you look it up. Hold on. Let's say you look it up and you confirm that story. Would that be racist? If what he is saying actually is true, would that be racist in your opinion?
Not. It's.
Of course it fucking would. I'm not fucking surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. Oh my goodness, this is fucking hilarious.
Let's hear him, Jeremy. Jeremy, I want to hear him. Hold on, Jeremy. Hold on. Stick, talk to me.
I'm trying to say something. You said the boy was also autistic or something, right?
Yeah, they never brought it up though. They kept shouting, "Fuck white people."
They never. So it was just F white people. What you've seen. It was nothing else.
Right.
If that was to be true, I would say that is also bigoted. That's also prejudiced, and that's also biased.
But it is racist too, right? It is racist, right?
No,
Absolutely. Stick
said they were all black.
Stick
You said they were all black. You said they were all black.
All 3 of them. All 3 of them.
That's not racist.
Why not? Why
They
not?
didn't do nothing. Black people didn't do nothing. They's a good boy.
Yeah, just like y'all think Trump is a good boy. So anyway,
bitch, I called Trump out. Go fuck yourself.
Stop.
He does call Trump out. I will give.
Man, you just.
He does.
He was just racist with his orange boss last week. Ain't nobody trying to hear
shut
that
the
shit.
fuck up. Name it. Name the specific thing that I said that was racist.
Get the fuck out of here.
No. Name it. Name it, Stick.
Jeremy.
Name
you
it.
said the most racist ass shit the last time.
And what was it? Give me it.
Well, Jeremy.
Tell you hell no in the middle.
Yeah, Jeremy, you were on here blaming black people for all kinds of crime and shit like that last time we talked. Because I pointed it out to you.
Statistics don't lie.
Statistics do lie when the criminal justice system is slanted. You admitted that the system goes by. You admitted that the system goes by wealth, and we know that the African American community for decades was deliberately kept in poverty. So if the system does things based on wealth, then you're going to net a lot of African Americans.
You're also going to net a lot of Hispanics. You're going to net a lot of poor white people.
And they do.
In fact, there are more poor white people than there are poor black people total in the United States.
I just said it. Y'all racist to y'all own kind. Y'all bigoted and prejudiced to your own
white.
kind.
I'm Latino, cabrón.
Y'all made up the word cracker. Y'all made up the word nigger. Y'all made up all the words that fuck with anybody and everybody. Y'all made up the word spit, kike, and any other shit. That's y'all. Y'all the racist motherfuckers.
Hold on, but Stig, here's where I hold on. Stig, this is where I disagree with you. Just because they made up the word don't mean that if you use it, it's not racist. Look, we didn't make AK-47s. You think we can't commit a murder with one? Because you're not, what is it, Kalashnikov or what? You're not him. So if you pick up an AK and shoot somebody, it's not murder? Because you didn't make it?
So I'm going to say it again. They're the only ones that can be racist. They're the only ones that can be racist. They made it up for them. It's their system. They perpetuate it. They motherfucking succeed and excel in it. And it costs a motherfucking lot. So at the end of the day, congratulations, you got it. Racism is yours, Jeremy.
Oh, that's adorable. I'm not even a part of that group because I'm Latino.
You're white passing Latino. Racist.
Oh, isn't that convenient? That's really convenient, isn't it? It's great. It's great. See. Even though I'm
5 minutes.
I'm gonna treat you like MAGA reacts. You have no substance.
I don't really care. I don't really care if you call me MAGA reacts.
Nothing to say. You sound like an idiot. And
I
guess
gave
what?
you an example when you said there was no examples.
That means Trump, the right, and everybody don't even like your ass. So take your unlikable ass on somewhere.
I don't like Trump, you dumb fuck.
Take your unlikable ass on somewhere.
Why don't you make me? What you gonna do?
All right.
You good? Stay right there.
He's gonna go get his vibrator and vibe off.
No. Stay right there. No, I'm a barber. I cut hair. I got skills, player.
Oh, what you guys?
All right, I'll go ahead and drop you, Stick. All right.
You know, I think his favorite thing to do. I think his favorite thing to do is gives people the nice HH stash.
What is that?
That's his number one.
What is the HH stash?
Who was the German guy that shall not be named? Actually, he's Austrian, but we all know who we're talking about. The one with the little mustache.
Yeah, I know who you're
That's
talking about.
And the tendency to give the Roman salute. We know who we're talking about.
Oh, well, listen, I know I'm at odds with a lot of African Americans for saying it, but I don't, to me, if two people are victimized and the same outcome happens to them, calling what happened to one person racist and calling what happened to the other person something else, which both acts were based on hate. Whether we're talking bigotry, prejudice, discrimination, racism, whatever you want to call it, it's all based on hate. So I don't know why we're picking and choosing words to try to downplay when an African American does it and the white person is the victim versus. To me, that I just don't like that.
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you why it is. Okay, listen. Black people have absolutely been the victim of racism in the United States, and it was horrible and wrong when it happened then, and it's horrible and wrong when it happens now. Here's the thing, though. What they are trying to do is they're trying to rig the game. Okay, people like Stick don't want to be held to the same account when they do something bad or when they say something bad. Because I don't know if Stick's ever gotten into any trouble, but I'll just assume that he's got no record of anything. Okay, so if he says something horrible to a white person, he wants to know that he can't be held to the same standard as a white person will be held to because it's a way of avoiding getting in trouble. That's all it is. It's not super complicated. It's not nuanced or comes from some deep intellectual ideology. No, it comes from just wanting things to be done in a way where you can't ever get in trouble for what you do. That's all it is.
All right, and if that's the case, that's not fair to anybody being victimized. I got to move it on, Jeremy. You definitely will probably end up coming back because this is off of a galaxy. But thanks for coming through. Tap the screen, get the lights on up to 50,000. I know this isn't a popular show. We were not going to talk about race. I'm just telling you that this was not what we were going to talk about. But, look, when we're talking about the Trump administration and mass deportations, which is what we're discussing today, yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to have that conversation without race coming up, because it is overwhelmingly black and brown people getting deported. And it's not just rapists and murderers. So I don't know if we can discuss Trump's deportation policies without race coming up, because that's who, it is predominantly people of color getting victimized by it. And I would be more willing to entertain the MAGA side of the aisle if it was bad hombres, rapists and murderers. But they went light years beyond just getting rid of rapists and murderers. In fact, I don't even think 1 out of 10 people being deported is a rapist. Or I don't even think it's probably less than 1 out of 20. You take the average person they're catching and deporting. You really think all of them people? You think Alligator Alcatraz had a few over 1,000? You think all of them folks are rapists and murderers on that island? Most of the people that they're deporting are not that. So what Trump campaigned on is something that every American should get behind. Getting rid of illegal immigrants in this country that are going around committing Class A felonies. Every American should get behind that. But as he's gained power, that's not what he's doing. In fact, like I said, most of the people getting deported don't fit that narrative.
For U.S. citizenship right now, USCIS just dropped 3 major policy changes that could completely change your N-400 naturalization process. Honestly, some of these haven't been used for more than 30 years. Hi, I am Attorney Jay Francis. I am a U.S. immigration lawyer based in Chicago and Wisconsin, but I serve all 50 states. First, they're bringing back neighborhood investigations. That means USCIS officers might actually show up at your workplace, talk to your neighbors, and investigate your community ties over the past 5 years. They stopped doing this over 30 years ago, but now they're saying the general waiver is over. Second, if you've ever registered to vote or voted when you weren't supposed to, even by mistake, you're getting a notice to appear for removal proceedings.
Now, I don't believe there's a lot of people that have done that, but if you're not allowed to vote, if you're not legally allowed to vote, you should not be voting. Now, he said even by mistake. If they sent you voting documents to your residence and you voted, I don't think you should automatically be removed from the country. I mean, if the government made a mistake and told you you could do something that you legally had no right to do, the government should be held responsible, not the person that cast the vote. You want the person to come to America and assimilate. You want them to be, you want them to do their duties, and be a patriot. Well, the guy cast a vote. You sent him a mail-in ballot or something, and he filled it out. So if you're going to deport somebody for voting erroneously or fraudulently, you should prove that they did something to make that vote happen that should not have happened. If the government sent them the papers and took their vote, they shouldn't be kicked out of the country based on that. But I want you to hear this third one.
Mistake. You're getting a notice to appear for removal proceedings. No exceptions. They're being crystal clear about this one. But here's the part that affects everyone. They're completely changing how they evaluate good moral character. It's not just about avoiding trouble anymore. Now they want to see positive contributions to your community, volunteer work, family responsibilities, stable employment, and educational achievements. They're calling it a holistic approach, but basically, they want proof you're worthy of citizenship. Not just that you haven't broken any laws. They're also looking harder at things like unpaid taxes, overdue child support, and even repeated traffic violations as potential character issues. Have you been through the naturalized?
So they're going to throw you out because you got traffic tickets, parking tickets you ain't paid. Now, as somebody who did migrate to a country, and I migrated to Australia, and Australia is known as another country that's hard to get into. I had to go through a lot. And I'm going to submit this to you. These rules he is saying, these are harder. These rules are more strict than Australia's are at this point. because unpaid child support and what else he say, parking tickets and shit. That wasn't you wouldn't get deported from Australia for that. This stuff is actually more. This right here to me opens up the door to giving immigration officials a far greater variety of excuses to just kick people out. You're going to net a lot of people based on this. Imagine if they punished every American that had done some of this stuff. Parking tickets, child support, something. You would get rid of a chunk of people doing this. This is going to net a lot of people. This is something you do if you really want to get rid of immigrants. I mean, he talked about your education. You came over here, you're not very educated. You're still working down the street at Dollar Tree. You've been here for 6 years as a citizen. You're not bettering yourself. I mean, they could come up with anything on this stuff. So this is anti-immigrant. This has nothing to do with rapists and murderers, any of that shit. This is just straight up anti-immigrant, if you ask me. Going back to the box, we'll go to Vibes Corner. This is being used to install a surveillance state. Yeah, it's a surveillance state. That's it. Yeah, everything about this is negative. It's giving the government a tremendous amount of power over immigrants that I suppose will last as long as they live in the country until they pass away. Vibes, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Hanson. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Good to have you on. What brings you up?
Yeah, I'm chiming in with the whole conversation, so I'm just listening to,
Okay.
I don't want to go back to the previous callers. Let me use the callers, right? But I'm going to say something, Tim, in regards to that. The problem with racism, wherever it is, it's accountability. Nobody want to accept the fault. Everybody wants to point the fingers on somebody else. Until we accept that things back in the past was wrong, Tim, we're not going to move forward. That is the biggest thing.
Okay. Who's not accepting that what happened in the past was wrong?
I mean, I don't think a lot of people of people try to double down on it, Tim.
Okay, but as a nation, because we talk about, like they always say, you can't be racist because you don't control the system. Or the system accepts what happened in the past is wrong. Our system does accept that.
All right, Tim. I do believe, Tim, there were measures put in place, but wasn't being followed. Yeah, because today is what, 2026, and we're still talking about racism like this shit.
Yeah, but you're not being treated like you did in those eras. Yeah, we're always going to. We still talk about 9/11. That don't mean skyscrapers are still coming down.
Yeah, that's a different case.
What are you? I don't understand what you're saying.
That's a different case. But I'm saying racism was created by a group of people, right?
Okay.
The Constitution was written, right, by whom?
That group of people.
But that group of people, and in the Constitution, there was a stipulation in the Constitution as it relates to a group of people that they're what? Half of a human? Who did that, Tim?
Wait, what did you say?
In the Constitution, there was a part in the Constitution that states black people are not even full human.
Yeah, but you understand that has been amended. That does not apply. That does not apply right now. What are you saying?
Tim, I'm asking you, who wrote that?
It was written by the founding fathers.
All right, Tim. All right. So I'm saying that was in it. You have to understand, Tim, though these people are descendants of the same people, Tim.
I get that. I agree with that.
And I'm saying there are a group of people who never accept responsibility.
That ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about, though.
They keep double downing, Tim. That's the problem. And if you're not accepting it, when you're wrong, Tim, you're not.
I don't get what you're trying to say. Let me say it like this. You're bringing up what they created. I get it, and I agree with that. Just like I brought up Kalashnikov created the AK-47. But what I'm saying is if you pick up that AK-47, you can do the same thing that Kalashnikov did with it. If they invented racism, and you can pick up what they used to use and do the same thing with it. You're trying to tell me that if we don't, you're giving them credit for creating racism, but saying if we do what they created, it's not racist when we do it.
No, Tim, that's not
what are you saying? You disagree with that?
The first thing I came and said, Tim, was accountability. two groups playing the game card, Tim. You brought up black people, you brought up white people. Right?
Okay.
And I'm saying the white man has never accepted what they did was wrong. They never.
Then how did we get civil rights and how did slavery end? That wasn't done by the black man.
Tim, it was a big pushback, Tim, by a group of people. But I'm talking about the people in power created this thing. But anyway, Tim.
I'm not disagreeing with that. You keep going back to the white man created something. I'm not disagreeing with that. But what I'm saying is just because person A creates something, if person B uses what person A created, it's the same thing. It don't change because a different person is using it.
I hear you, Tim. I hear you. But I'm just saying. Tim,
I'll give you an example.
Tim.
Adolf, you know who, over in Germany.
Yeah.
Hold on. Adolf in Germany adopted many of the same stuff the Confederate South used to use on the Jewish population in Germany. What is it, not racist because Adolf didn't create it?
No, Tim. Like I said, Tim, every situation, Tim, is different, Tim. Every situation is different. And I'm not, listen to Tim. Don't get me wrong, Tim. I'm not beating and I'm not going back. I'm just simply saying racism cannot stop talking about him until accountability prevails. That's all I'm saying.
So then let me ask you, do you believe a black person can be racist? Yes or no?
If it can be racist?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Then what are we talking about?
I'm saying. You asked you spoke about something earlier, and I'm just saying racism cannot stop talking about until there's an accountability. That's all I'm saying.
All right, fair enough. Well, I don't know if that'll do it, though, to be honest with you, because hold on, Germany has accepted accountability for what they did during World War II. You think they stopped talking about it though? Even if they accept accountability, we're still going to talk about that's our ancestry. We're never going to, even if they all accepted the responsibility, that's our ancestry. We're still going to talk about it.
But that's what I'm saying, Tim. Tim, education also is a part of it. I realize in education is a lot, and I don't know that there's a lot of information that is missing, Tim. A lot of information when it comes to when it comes to the topic racism. A lot.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that. The point I'm making is that they're never going to stop talking about this, no matter how. There's nothing that is ever going to happen. Even if I sat you down and said, what do we need to do? And we did everything you said, racism is still going to be talked about because it is our ancestry.
Mm-hmm. Tim, this topic will be a long topic, like I said, Tim.
Yeah.
And I'm not changing from my point, Tim. Accountability. But anyway, Tim, let's move on to the other one, the real topic you have on the show, Tim.
Sure.
All right.
Okay. We're talking about Trump's poll numbers. Why the hell are they dropping so much?
Tim, the number is dropping because people realizing what's happening, Tim.
What is happening? In your opinion, what is happening?
Tim, because the guy is changing his mouth, Tim. The guy's changing his mouth. There are people that listening to him. There are people watching it, Tim. And I told you the last time we spoke, I told you that this guy talks on himself.
Yeah, you did say that.
This guy talks on himself, Tim.
You did say that.
Tim, being a liar, Tim, you have to tell another lie to keep up with that lie. Yeah. And after a time, Tim, it's going to box you in. It's going to box you in because people are now going to realize, hey, this person is a pathological liar. And that's what's happening right now.
So
yes?
Do you believe our president is indeed a pathological liar?
Tim, you're asking me or you're telling me?
I'm asking you.
Well, I'm telling you, Tim, yes.
Okay, fair enough. I don't disagree with that. He tells a lot of lies. I don't disagree with that.
Next thing, Tim, with the Asians, Tim, I don't want to sound as if I'm biased, Tim, but it is saying TPS, right?
Yep.
And what is our what's the word?
Temporary.
Yes. Say that word again.
Temporary.
All right, that's a key word there, Tim. That's the key word there. Temporary.
Okay.
Which means Anybody comes and play, Tim, can do their own thing.
Yeah. So you don't believe Trump getting rid of TPS status for Haitians and Cubanos? You don't see that as racist or targeting them at all?
It depends on who is looking on it, Tim, on which side.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you. What is your opinion of that?
Tim, the easiest thing for me to say, yes, it is racist.
What is your opinion? Give me the hard example.
My opinion, Tim. Listen to me, Tim. He's the president. The same guy. Most of those guys, Tim, especially the Cubans, they voted for him, Tim.
Yeah.
They voted for him, so
yeah.
I have nothing to say to that, Tim. They voted for this guy, Tim. That's all I'm gonna say.
No mercy, no sympathy, huh? No sympathy.
No, there's no need for me to, Tim. There's like, all right, Tim, with what's going on in the Middle East, you ever heard the term self-inflicted, Tim?
Yeah.
All right, so that's the war is self-inflicted, Tim. The Strait of Hormuz was open. I was paying cheap money for gas, Tim. Now I'm paying over $6 or $5 and change. Self-inflicted, Tims.
I gotta ask you the question that's on the mind of many of my viewers now. You obviously have an accent. What is your immigration status?
Well, Tim, I'm a citizen, Tim. But
that ain't saying shit anymore. That ain't saying shit nowadays. How long you been a citizen?
I'm not even comfortable, Tim, being a citizen.
Yeah, because that ain't saying shit anymore.
But I'm going to say, Tim, let me tell you, have you ever watched the cartoon, the Bee Movie?
I don't know if I think I've seen it. I think I have.
The Bee Movie, you remember when the Bee went to court and they got their the verdict to say overrule the person that were harvesting.
I don't remember it enough.
All right, Tim, let me tell you what happened, Tim. The bee is there for a reason, right? They're there for pollination. That's how plant produce, right?
Okay.
There are certain jobs in America, I'm telling you, the citizen of America won't do. And I'm telling you, it's going to be, Tim,
I agree 100%. I agree 100% that getting rid of immigrants that do those menial jobs, that's going to cause a problem. I agree with that.
You saw what happened in Nebraska and Florida?
Yep.
I'm just saying, bro.
Yep.
But guess what, Tim? No empathy is shown because self-inflicted. Again.
They didn't, but wait a minute. In defense of the Cubans and Haitians and Venezuelans that voted for Trump, they didn't. It ain't like he told them what he was going to do and they still voted for him anyway. He lied. He didn't tell them he's going to deport every Venezuelan and Cuban in the country that he could. He made it sound like I'm only going after rapists and murderers. Now he's making it clear, anybody I can deport, I'm going to get you. Even if I got to make up a reason to get you.
Mr. Handsome, what was the targeted numbers for deportation?
I don't even know.
The targeted deportation per day was something like, how much per week was something like a couple millions, I believe. The one is something like 5,000 per day. Yeah. Tim, you're telling me that you remember on the campaign trail they said millions of people came over, right?
Yeah.
And those millions are not overthrowing America? Come on, man.
I'm just telling you, the people were gullible.
That's what I'm saying.
They were gullible.
That's what I'm saying, Tim. These people don't listen, Tim. They love the gimmicks. And that's why a lot of people is gravitated to this guy because this guy is comic. Politics is serious, Tim. And if it's affecting our lives, Tim, it's serious.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Tim, I'm paying an extra $200 a day per gas. And I'm an independent contractor.
200. You're paying due to Trump's policies. I'm assuming you're talking about the war. It's costing you an additional $200 a day in fuel.
Tim, I used to run a truck. I have to sell my truck, Tim. I sold my truck, bro. I went down to a van. My van, I used to pay like $60 to fill up. Tim, now I'm paying $120.
Wow. So how do you respond to folks who might say, yeah, it costs a little bit, but we're preventing Iran from getting a nuclear bomb, so we're saving lives, short-term pain for long-term gain? How do you respond to that?
Tim, listen to me, Tim. I'm a person who I'm in politics. I watch politics. I'm in current affairs teams. I watch current affairs. And I am in my 40s going to 50, right? I have never seen that country that you're talking about attack here. I've never seen that. But I've seen where I'm at. Done a lot of shit. I'm just gonna say that like that. My point is, there was diplomacy a couple of years ago, right?
You're talking about the JCPOA with Obama's deal.
Yes, Tim. It was working, Tim. How long was that agreement signed, Tim?
Well, it got signed in Obama's years, so it was there for years.
Years, Tim. Were they doing anything, Tim?
I don't believe they were, but the Trump administration and Netanyahu says otherwise.
So Tim, let me ask you a question. You have a household, right?
You said I have a what?
You have you have a house, right?
Yeah.
You're the head of your house. You have a wife, right?
Yeah. Well, I have a house.
Yes. You have a house and you have the wife. You have your wife. Your wife runs the house, right? And if your wife said to you that Tim, I'm out of milk. Can you get me some milk? Or Tim, there is no milk. Who are you gonna believe?
I'm gonna believe the woman telling me there's no milk.
All right. The reason why I asked that question, Tim, you have a director of national intelligence, Tim. National intelligence.
So my wife is Tulsi Gabbard. My wife is Tulsi Gabbard.
Whom is a citizen of this country who have served in the military, Tim, who have sworn to the Constitution, Tim, to uphold the Constitution, and you overpass that? Then why nominate her? Why have her as head of your intelligence?
I gotta move it on, but that's a great point. I can't argue with why he didn't take the information from Tulsi Gabbard. Everybody believes he chose to take the information from Netanyahu, and here we are. But your point is well taken. I agree with the way you used it, the wife comment. I agree with it. Last word. Go ahead.
Tim, my last point is Netanyahu has been saying this for how many years now? Until he got one person to fulfill. One person, Tim. And who was that person?
That was Trump. Right. I played the video. He's been saying it since 1994, I believe. So, yeah, he got Trump to do it.
Tim. It's fear-mongering, Tim, and nobody would buy what he's saying.
It worked on Trump. It worked on Trump. I got to go, but it worked on Trump. Vibes, thanks for coming through. Tap the screen. Get us on up to 50,000, if you would. That's actually more than 2 decades. Facts only says 2 decades. No. I played the video on here. There are videos of Netanyahu saying that Iran is only a couple weeks away from getting a bomb, going all the way back to 94. And it's not like he just said it once in 94 and then he said it in 94. Here's another video of him saying it in 95. Here's another one. I mean, there are clips of him. You can literally see him aging. You can literally see him aging. He's been saying that forever. In fact, he just came to the country, talking about Benjamin Netanyahu, to attend the funeral for Lindsey Graham. And Trump stated himself that Benjamin Netanyahu stated he wanted to show him some intelligence that Iran is quickly rebuilding what has been bombed. Trump himself said, you don't need to show me this because I know you want me to just keep us in this. Trump is now publicly admitting that this dude is giving me shit so that I'll stay at war. He actually came out and said it. I wish I had that clip queued up. But he admitted it. He said, I don't need to see it. I don't need Netanyahu to show me anything. He said he just wants us to stay involved. So he's now admitting this is where your shit is coming from. This man has got you into a war, synonym being a quagmire, that's hurting you. I've been talking to a lot of MAGA. You guys know how. Some of you folks see me in LJ's live yesterday, Lumberjack. And he's formerly Black MAGA. Still wears the MAGA hat, but he believes MAGA now is separate from Trump. He still supports the Make America Great movement, but he don't support Trump anymore. Kind of like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, and a bunch of other ones. But he said he only stopped supporting Trump February 28th or whatever it was, the day we attacked Iran. So I'm going to submit to you that war probably has caused Trump more heartache than anything else he's ever done because MAGA was on his side with the immigration, ICE, and all of that. None of that made them lose any love or respect for Trump. The war in Iran has. The war in Iran has probably hurt Trump more than anything else he's ever done, because that is hurting him with his core base. There's a lot of MAGA that are not happy with that. So there's a lot of MAGA that are not happy with him basically giving the appearance that Israel is guiding his movements. A lot of MAGAs complaining about that. We the Rebel says, I can't be racist, I'm white. Duh. Okay, all right. And Didn't Care, you says not racist at all. Okay, you guys got crazy. These definitions are crazy. Reader Rebel says 3/5 compromise was put in to prevent slaves from purchasing political power by way of buying slaves. Not to say that black people. Well, the 3/5 compromise, if I'm correct, was put in place to give white, what do you want to call it? Well, just the South, give them census credit for their slaves without allowing a person to be considered as a human. Because in the South, a lot of rural areas and shit like that, they had a lot of slaves. You may have a town that's only got 300-400 population, but in that town, 2 or 3 of the farms have 30, 40, 50 slaves working on it. So if you can make those slaves get represented by being 3/5 of a human, now when it comes to doing a census, determining different things based on populations of towns, that town's going to get a lot more value to it because you're now counting those slaves as 3/5. So what is that? If you got 15 slaves, that's going to count to a certain amount of human beings. So there's some value to it. I'll give it the simple way: 3/5. So if you got 50 slaves, that equates to having 30 actual people in the town. If you got 50 slaves on your farm, that's the same as having actual 30 people on that town. Now, because they're only 3/5, they don't get any of the rights of an actual human being. So you're benefiting, you're coming up with ways to make you benefit from them while giving them shit. They're not getting anything. And that's what I believe, I was told the 3/5 is for. In the comments, Handsome Conservative says, bottom line, nobody here was a slave owner. Nobody here was a slave. Stop playing victim. This is why the Democrats keep losing. You never learn from your stupidity. Well, look, I'm going to say it like this. I don't agree with only seeing victimization when African Americans are claiming to be victim of something. Because you got whites that are talking about replacement theory as we speak. They're claiming to be victim. You got folks like Nick Fuentes and stuff that are talking. What did they march and say when they were in Charlottesville? Jews won't replace us. They're all claiming to be victims. They're all claiming to be victims to the Jewish community. I don't know why all of a sudden only when African Americans say they're victimized by something, it's something we don't take seriously. But everybody else is claiming to be victims of shit. So I don't favor that. Because anybody can be a victim. I don't know why all of a sudden African Americans can, but you do have a large portion of the white community. People are talking about they're being victimized by Sharia law. People are talking about the LGBTQ community is victimizing them. You got the white community right now, particularly on the right, they're claiming that they're being victimized by all sorts of shit. Do we discount that and only focus on what the African American community is complaining about? You guys are complaining that you're being victimized by immigrants. That's why we got this huge push to get rid of them. They're taking our jobs. They're committing crimes. We're victims of all of this stuff. So the victimization is everywhere. I don't know. And I see in the comments somebody says, isn't Nick Fuentes a Latino? Yeah, but that don't mean he's identifying as one. George Zimmerman, the killer of Trayvon Martin, was Latino. Some people identify as the others. Isn't that what you guys said, Kamala Harris? She ain't black? You're trying to say she identifies as something else. Same people who say you can't be trans, huh? I identify as a different race. Tap the screen. And by the way, help your boy out with the hat and mustache. TikTok cap goals. Not enough to have a party of progressives. They have to curtail Dems. Okay? You don't think MAGA curtailed Republicans? MAGA aren't Republicans. They don't believe in the same shit the Republicans do. You think Trump and Reagan come across as similar? Trump, he's not very religious. He's for big government. He's spending his fucking ass off. Okay? So he's not a traditional Republican. He didn't marry his high school sweetheart. He didn't do any of this shit. that traditional Republicans do. But he came to power by curtailing a hell of a lot of Republicans. So I don't know why when the progressive movement does it, as you're indicating, it's somehow wrong. That's what MAGA just did. If we didn't have a patriarchy, then more good men would be dating instead of see the binary masculine rich man with a sport, with a sports. Okay, I don't know what you're saying there, young Bryce. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen, get us up to 50,000. We'll take the next caller. In the comments, I see no problem with anything you said. Handsome conservative, I don't know what you mean there. If you know that you're here illegally, then you are liable. We're going to wait. Look, I don't know how many times I can say this. What Trump is doing is going way beyond just going at the rapists and murderers or even folks that are here illegally. He is creating illegal immigrants from scratch now. He is actually creating illegal immigrants. He is doing things to transition people that are here legally, make them illegal, and then go hunt them down. The Haitian migrants, the Cubanos, and the Venezuelans, by ending TPS status, that's exactly what's happening. They ended TPS status and hired a bunch of ICE, and now we're going to send them in the area where they're mostly concentrated. So I just made them illegal. Now I'm going to send all of you folks in and go hunt them down and kick them out. That ain't got nothing to do with raping and murdering or illegal immigrants. That's just creating some, I mean, you basically just turn them into targets, really. Just literally turn them into targets. The three countries that voted against the March 2026 United Nations General Assembly resolution recognizing the transatlantic slave trade: United States, Israel, and Argentina. Yeah, and I've heard that. Look, the United States does not have slavery, so what are you suggesting? They may go back to it or something? I don't know. Are we at 50,000? Tap the screen, get the likes up. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, I need you folks to smash that like button. We're here most weekdays. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Our programming is always MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome on the program, but we don't block, ban, or censor you for your politics, no matter what side of the aisle you are on. You can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. That's how we do it here. So going back to the box, we'll go to Jenny Rios. Fauci. Oh, and real quick, before we continue, hang on a second, Rios. I saw this from you earlier, Stevie D. He said only a liberal program would not be talking about Dr. Fauci. We actually played this in the beginning. I want you to hear this again. And this is the reason I actually agree. This is Chris Cuomo, formerly CNN. So I know my MAGA viewers are going to take this with a grain of salt. I get it. But this is Chris Cuomo talking about Fauci going through this, this congressional grilling today. I actually agree with this. And this is part of the reason why I'm not covering Dr. Fauci's, pleading the fifth, 100 times over and over again, why I'm not really covering it in great detail. If you guys want to discuss it in the comments or come on up live, we'll discuss it. But I want you to hear this.
The breaking news is that Tony Fauci is pleading the fifth. Why is he pleading the fifth this time when he never pleaded it in like the hundreds of times, or certainly the handful of times that he's talked about COVID-19 specifically? Why is he doing it now, especially after a preemptive pardon? Well, the reason is his lawyers have convinced him that if he were to be accused of having to lie about something now, it may not be covered by the pardon. Or there could be a state that hears what he says and decides to prosecute him at the urging of Rand Paul or any other politician or on their own accord, and the pardon wouldn't cover that. So even though he has a preemptive pardon, I do get why there is a concern, and he certainly believes this, and so do his lawyers, that they're going to twist things and try to get him into a position where they can accuse him and say that the pardon doesn't hold because it's not something he said in the past, it's something new, and that he can therefore be charged, and that's why he did it. And in a civil setting like this, there is an inference when you say you're taking the fifth that there's something that you may feel that you have to hide. I do not believe that that's how Tony Fauci feels. But I do believe he's listening to his lawyers. I do believe he's an older man now, and he's at an age and stage where he doesn't want to deal with this anymore. And I think it's unfair.
I'm not gonna, he doesn't agree. I don't, in regards to whether it's unfair or not, we can talk about that. But I absolutely agree that there is no love lost between the Republicans and Dr. Fauci. Everybody knows that a large portion of the right believes Dr. Fauci should be incarcerated. So, it's just like if, listen, it would be like seeing the cops on TV saying that they think you committed a crime or something. And now they're at your door trying to interview you. Do you want to talk to them? They've already made their feelings known. They don't believe it. This is not unbiased. These people think that you're guilty. Why would you do anything other than plead the fifth? Anything else you say that is not convicting yourself. If you're not confessing to committing crimes during the pandemic, they're not gonna believe it. So why would you sit there and have a conversation with folks that have already made it clear they think you should be under the jail? So yeah, I'm 100% behind what Cuomo said here, is that the whole purpose of Dr. Fauci's grilling is to catch him up on something, to get him to say something today that may be different than what he said during the pandemic. And as Cuomo stated, then to make the argument that you were pardoned under the Biden administration, now that you've just lied under oath, that pardon did not cover the perjury you just committed here in 2026. I absolutely believe that. We know the folks grilling them. Just listen to how they were grilling them. They were pretty much cussing them out. They were saying, in fact, one of the guys did use the F word against them. These folks don't like you. Why would you talk to them? I mean, you're not going to change any hearts and minds on the right. So, yeah, and by the way, for folks who do indicate or try to suggest that, well, he's pleading the fifth, that means he's guilty of something. Remember Hillary Clinton, she pled the fifth a bunch of times, and Trump said if you plead the fifth, it means you got something to hide or you work for the government. Then when his turn came around, he pled the fifth a bunch of times too. All of a sudden, the same MAGA that wanted to convict Hillary for pleading the fifth suddenly found a sympathetic ear for Trump doing the same thing. Well, Fauci's doing it now too. This is what happens. This is how our court system works. That man is in his 80s. He's not going to sit there and give them something so they can throw his old ass in jail. He pled the fifth. It is what it is. So if you guys want to talk about Fauci, we can, but I absolutely, you want to talk about Trump, 34 felonies being a witch hunt. This shit you saw today with Dr. Fauci, that's a witch hunt. I'm 100% certain. This guy got a pardon. Even if you think he's guilty of all kinds of shit, why are you interviewing him? That's a witch hunt. You're trying to catch him up in something to make news, use it as a diversion from maybe Trump's poll numbers or something else, or the Iran war. But you're using this dude as a pawn. This is a disingenuous interview with this dude. I mean, the shit's over with at this point. So yeah, I'm 100% agreeing with Cuomo. And if I was in that situation, yeah, I would plead the fifth as much as I can. They asked him, what color is the carpet in front of you? And he pleaded the fifth. But then again, they asked Trump, the only thing Trump told them was his name. He pled the fifth on every single thing they asked him as well. So that's what happens. Dr. Fauci became rich during COVID while people were dying. He was becoming rich, and you're okay with that, and you want to say the Republican Party is crooked. What the fuck you think is going on in Venezuela, Cuba, Iran, and even threatening to take Greenland up under our control? You're going to point out that Dr. Fauci got rich while people were dying of COVID. You don't think the Trump administration is making money off these wars and keeping Cuba in the dark? You don't think people are dying in that shit right now? It's the same shit. You want to hold Dr. Fauci accountable? You don't think the president is doing some of the same shit right now? Some of the immigrants that are dying, you don't think they're making money off of that stuff? You don't think they're profiting from Alligator Alcatraz and all that stuff? They're investing in the companies that are locking these people up. They're investing in the companies that make tasers and weapons to use on these people. He's doing the same shit. He's profiting off the misery of others. So if you're going to hold Dr. Fauci accountable for that, while voting for Trump, then you're literally in the same cesspool that you're attempting to point out. Going back to the box, tap the screen in the comments. What Steve did say about Trump's pleading the fifth 400 times. Nothing. Didn't count. Nothing. They believe that Trump was justified in doing it. Trump is, listen, anytime you hear somebody is like Florida, I'll go to the box here and help your boy with the hat and mustache, TikTok cap goes. I'm going to ask that. Florida just had 2 executions in one single day, I believe, or they were trying to do it. I don't know if they killed the second guy, but everybody in the comments, I posted it, everybody was like, yay, they need to do more and all of this kind of stuff. The point I'm making is generally when you hear somebody being punished to the fullest extent of the law. Most of the American people think that we need more of that. We need to hold criminals accountable. Trump is the first person I've ever seen that got punished, and folks thought, well, you know, he actually got mistreated. Normally, you hear somebody getting punished, you instantly think that the system is doing what's right by the American people and doing a good job. For some reason, Trump convinced people that the system was wrong. Go figure. Let me go into the box. Thank you for the TikTok cap there, Smokey. We'll make it happen with Smokey. Good evening, Smokey. Welcome to the program. Why don't they charge Trump for getting rid of Obama's contingency pandemic plan? You could throw the JCPOA in there as well. That's two things that Trump got rid of that Obama came up with that likely led to a lot of deaths. Smokey, good evening.
Good evening. How's your day going?
I'm doing good. Good to have you on. So what brought you up this evening? What am I getting wrong?
Oh, well, I mean, I thought if you were talking about your original topic of the temporary relief status, I'd find it concerning that I know that a president can't remove a law. And I know that that came from the Immigration Act in 1990, so it would take an act of Congress to remove that status. So that's just concerning that Congress aren't doing anything about that. Trump will do whatever he wants if you allow him. So my response would be, how can he legally do that? But that annoys people because it gives a solution.
Well, and that's what frightens me. It could put the Democrats in a conundrum where now there's a lot of people, certainly in the immigrant community, that has been wronged by President Trump. I always mention Kilmar Abrego Garcia. That dude should probably get a movie deal and millions of dollars thrown at him for the wrongful imprisonment in CCOT, threatening to send him to Africa. There's a whole lot of those out there. We just know about the story about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. But the problem is once you get a Democrat in office, if he or she tries to correct some of the illegal acts that Trump is taking on, then a Democrat gets punished for looking sympathetic to immigrants again. So, which is what happened to Biden. He got tossed out because they looked like they were being too immigrant friendly. But yeah, I agree with you 100% that Trump can kind of do anything right now, legal or illegal, because Congress is just going to let him do whatever he wants to do, which is one reason why I push against the Save America Act so hard. If they do something unconstitutional, the justice system ain't going to go and try to prosecute them. I mean, so this is all you have.
100%. And so as they keep pushing it further and further, the only way to reset is what I've tried to do is be that unemotional asshole and go, here's the Constitution, let me paper cut you with it. What does the law say? Oh, an act can't amend the Constitution. He doesn't have that power. This is really easy if we just paper cut them correctly in the courts, like they do to us when they want to use it against us. When they want to ignore it, they do. When they want to prosecute us with it, they hold us to the letter of the law. It's amazing that we, the people, can see the trickery of them and actually just learn the game and start filing better paperwork and holding better people accountable.
Well, you're assuming that if you file really good paperwork and stuff, you're going to have judges that actually rule properly, because we've seen what the Supreme Court done. I mean, they gave Trump immunity to help him get away with shit. So it's like there's only so much of the republic that can remain if you know, we have laws, we have a constitution, we have all that stuff in place, but it's only as good as the enforcement. Like I mentioned the other day how Trump...
It's only as good as our knowledge.
Well, that too. Well, but we got people in place that have knowledge. I mean,
no, we don't.
You don't think Congress and...
I can prove it. Have you ever had rights as a person in the United States, or have you always been categorized? And do we still categorize people into subcategories who have to ask 9 persons for permissions? Women's rights, trans rights, undocumented, black person.
I don't get what you're saying.
Well, in 1868, with the 14th Amendment, you became a person who is just like a corporation.
Okay.
So you've had person rights since 1868, but you've never actually taken them. The corporations were given rights as a person by the courts. Then they're given rights as the people. And citizens keep asking to be an other person, 3/5 of a person. So it's legally an other person is 3/5 of a person. It doesn't say black person, it's other person, so they can other anyone at any time. Then they decide how hard they want to other you, whether to be to ownership, harder to get a job, into subservitude to create citizens. They decide. That's why the other persons are so broad and why Hitler was able to copy it. At first, it didn't come from me, but then there was no one left to come for.
Okay.
So you have to be a person. So Congress has never honored your rights as a person. They still say you have to pay to be another person, a black person. You need rights as a black person, as a female person, as a
how are African Americans? Wait, you're saying pay to be a black? How are African Americans being required to pay? What are you getting at?
You're asking for permissions as a black person, not taking your rights you have as a person. That's the trickery.
What rights are African Americans currently asking for permission for that whites are not?
The way the system has set people up, and might be more relevant to, say, with transgender person or female person. So a transgender person is an other person. The law says they're a person who is. To other them is the other persons, which they have to ask for permissions. Female person, other person. Undocumented person, other person. Muslim person.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Of course, they didn't come from me, so the Constitution made everyone.
I get what you're saying. Basically, the Civil Rights Act in 1964 was us asking for civil rights that were already granted to whites. I get what you're saying now.
What you didn't do is sue the shit out of the state and say, hey, since 1870, black men have had their 15th Amendment right violated, so we don't need the 1965 Voting Rights Act because we have the 15th Amendment since 1870, so let's sue the shit out of everyone.
Because they wouldn't have paid it. They didn't sue because you wouldn't have won. I mean, the system was still quite on fire and biased at that time. You could have sued them, but you weren't going to win.
Corporations won. In 1869, they got rights as a person. In 1906, they got rights of the people. In 2010,
yeah, because we don't have a history of hating corporations like that. We do have a history of hating women and black people and trans.
Black people and trans people, the others.
I don't think the lawsuit would have, the point I'm making is I don't think the lawsuit would have went anywhere.
Again, thinking but not knowing and this isn't negative, we weren't trained to know this. This is the trickery. I've been around these people enough to understand that wordplay to them is extremely important. And that's why they trick us. Citizens United was Persons United, because a corporation can be a person, but they can't be a citizen. Since they can't be a citizen, they can't be the people. That's the Dred Scott ruling. A black person cannot be a citizen, so they can be owned, which meant they didn't have a Fourth Amendment right, the right of the people to be secured as persons. So that's why they can be owned. The 14th Amendment gave you rights to be secure in your person. To keep categorizing a citizen with Jim Crow laws at local municipalities and jurisdictions is the federal government's failure to uphold the municipalities to the federal constitution.
So what would be the solution in your opinion? To rewrite the Constitution from the ground up?
No. Hell no. Ask a basic question. Is the equation 2 + 2 = 3? America, 1776, colored gender permissions while corporations are a person and the people. Or is it United States, people, person, citizen? We get all three categories as the people, person, citizen, and immunities. A corporation is a person, but they can't be a citizen or the people. Right there, I just got rid of women's rights, trans rights, LGBTQIA, got rid of Citizens United, all public donations to politicians, everything. Because the equation is wrong. And if the base equation is wrong, every equation attached to it will be wrong. So we have to go back to the foundation. What's the name of the country? When was it founded?
That's what I said. Do you want to rewrite the Constitution? Because the Constitution and the Declaration. Hold on. The Constitution and the Declaration of Independence did not originally view anybody equal to a white man that owned land. So he was treated as a hierarchy compared to everybody else. And since then, as you point out, everybody had to ask for all these freedoms, which came in the form of amendments when they said yes. But as you're, I suppose, indicating, I suppose you could get rid of the amendment and go back to the original document where only...
No.
What are you saying?
I've removed an amendment. The Bill of Rights was the Bill of Whites until the 14th Amendment.
Okay.
And then all those rights retroactively came back. So we need to understand, are you a person or a black person in law? Are you a female person or a person in law? Is the name of our country United States, 1789, or are we America, 1776? Are we the American flag, American citizen, American voters? Or is it United States flag, United States voters? It's the paper coup. How to overthrow a country internally with an uneducated populace with basic words. fucking genius, and it's exactly how Hitler managed to other people because it's so subtle over time.
Well, I don't know if we'd be having this talk, though, if Kamala Harris is president. I think we're noticing this shit more because Trump is exploiting some of it.
I've called it out for years. We've never honored people, person, citizen. Even Harris ran on other person permissions. Pay me, and I'll get the 9 free persons to give you permissions as a label, but we won't give you rights as a person. That's the hook and the trick of the grift, because if you get a law changed, that's permission that can be changed. If you get it right, that's inherent and takes an amendment to change. You got to cut them with the original document they claim to love.
Is America the only first world country doing this? I'm just curious.
We've had a ripple effect is what's happened, and this hatred of wordplay has grifted and drifted into other societies with the others and categorization of people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's going to be, I mean, I suppose the people didn't push back as much because they were just glad to get civil rights, or women were just glad to be viewed as equal. So they didn't actually push back against the language because at the end of the day, they felt like, well, at least I've made a significant improvement to the quality of my life.
But see, that's individualism. If we believe the 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote, that would imply that male 14th Amendment and female 19th Amendment, that would mean a transgender person couldn't vote. You just get kept rights. The 19th Amendment changed the word male to the word sex, ensuring any citizen of any sex has the right to vote. That's a big difference. Words overthrow countries, words take rights.
Yeah.
That's the genius of the system.
Well, I'll agree with what you said in the beginning. A lot of us are uneducated because this is way above the head of most Americans. And you're right. A few folks can play games with the words and use it to their advantage. But yeah, you're right. Most Americans have not taken this shit apart and dissected it to the level that you're doing right now.
But that's what I had to do because I was trying to fight for people's rights, women's rights, and I was arguing with MAGA. And they bring up the Constitution. We'd argue back and forth feelings. I couldn't rebuttal the Constitution. So I said, fuck it, let me read the document. What are the SOPs? And I used to do it with Devil's Lettuce, so I'm used to this type of format. I was like, damn, this is the easiest SOP I've ever read, and we've been entirely conned and grifted. So I've just been trying to teach citizens, I don't care which side you're on. Congress is screwing us, they're robbing us. We could have what we want. We're okay to live differently in your brothel town or your dry town. We're the United States, but every person's got the same rights. This is easy, don't be a dick.
Well, I mean, I don't think most citizens have read the Constitution word for word, just like most Christians ain't read the entire Bible. I mean, it's just like you just take for granted that is working somehow, some way on my benefit, and you don't ponder that some of the language in this, maybe, like they say, read the fine print on your contract. You're talking about fine print. The way words can be changed and meanings can be changed to later hurt you.
Exactly what it says. Tell me how we could interpret we the people of the United States to mean we the colors and genders of America. How can you explain all persons born or naturalized will become citizens to mean all persons will be given a label of color and gender of birth? And if you're not born to a U.S. citizen, you're born a criminal. I mean, we're just arguing asinine stuff is the problem because the emotional grift is strong. And here in the U.S., it's exactly how Hitler gained power. We have to be unemotional politically.
Do you think what we're doing
locally?
When you say if you're not born a U.S. citizen, you're born a criminal? Do you think in this country what we're doing now constitutes as hate?
1,000,000%, because people don't realize prior to the 14th Amendment, there's a little thing called Article 2, Section 1, which is called natural born citizen. Which means you don't even have to be born in the United States to be a citizen and to be president. You do not have to be born in the United States. So what frustrated me about Obama was with 10 years of, he wasn't born here. And the constitutional expert couldn't say, you don't have to be, you have to be a natural born citizen, which means technically I could be born in Ireland, but as long as one of my parents is a citizen, I'm a natural born citizen, just like Ted Cruz. And Ted Cruz, when he was running for president, born in Canada, mom a citizen of the U.S., who was a natural-born citizen.
Yeah. People
tried taking it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court laughed, threw it out, and said, "We're not even taking this."
So what you're saying is that even if the birther rumors that Obama was born in Kenya, even if that stuff were true, it wouldn't make any difference because his mom is an American, thereby making him an American citizen from birth.
United States citizen. See, Tim, here's the reason that I have to be important on words. And people say it might be semantics, but I'll ask you an analogy. If I said the N-word is acceptable for me to use because colloquially it's been used for a long time, I can say it anywhere globally and people know what I mean when I say it. It's in songs, I can buy it. It's in movies, it's in music. Sure, you know what it means when I say it. It doesn't really matter. You say bullshit.
I would say fuck you. Yes, I would say fuck you. I would take
when I
option.
say hate is one thing, but treason is another, and misinformation, I hold that to a higher level. And so when you keep saying America, every time you say that to me, I hear the N-word. The F slur. When you talk about American citizen, I hear the N-word, the F slur.
Really?
You say it doesn't matter because that's
Oh
how
my
important
God.
these words are. One is treason, one is disrespectful.
You think saying America instead of calling it the United States?
Again, you tell me if the Constitution is the supreme law of the land and treason is against the United States, or the Constitution isn't, and treason against America is accepted. America first is acceptable. See, you would have to show me where in the document, when we're arguing words, where it says the word America. The United States of America is a descriptive sentence.
Yeah.
The word America is never used in singular form, but treason is against the United States. The oath is to the United States. So yes, again, you laugh that words aren't important, but if I use the N-word, you slap me. And
Well,
I would disagree.
I don't
and
know.
I want to disagree, is what I'm saying.
That's you hear the N-word when we call America America instead of the United States. That's
It's
the N-word.
hate, it's oppression, it's regression, it's misogynistic, transphobic, homophobic, racist, misogynistic, colonizer, taking other people's lands for their commodities to give it back to the wealthy while enslaving everyone else. 100%. That's what I hear when I hear America.
You know the
I'm
crazy
Irish, and
thing
I understand what the American agenda is, because England kept oppression over Ireland for 750 years, and they still have it for 150. I know these cunts.
You know,
100%.
You know the crazy thing is though, there are a lot of other countries on the American continent, North and South America, that call our country America. We're not the only ones that call us America. People in Canada, people in Canada call us America.
Use the word America, and they call you the N-word, and they do that. So therefore, I can use the N-word. Come on,
I'm not agreeing to that.
I'm not referring to a cigarette. When I refer to it, what do you think I'm talking about? We used to call cigarettes Fs.
I gotta move it on, but I'm not agreeing to that. I'm not agreeing to that. You had me up to that point. I'm not agreeing to that.
Debunk it.
I don't hear the N-word when we call ourselves Americans. I don't agree with that because, like I said,
it's an oppressive term. United States citizen is a privilege and immunity, and you go with an oppressive term.
Then why do Canadians call us Americans then? If it's oppressive,
because the indoctrination of the paper coup started in the 70s, but everyone's missed it. It's the most.
So all of these other nations, that call us Americans,
100%.
all these other nations that call us Americans, they're indoctrinated.
100%, because we pushed agendas, we pushed it in songs. It started with Reagan. I can break it down exactly how it's done and how you overthrow a country or have the Confederate States of America rebrand as America with projects and agendas and everything, exactly how you do it strategically. It's fucking genius.
Well, it's worked. I got to move it on, Smokey. Great conversation as usual. Anytime, always. You're deeper than everybody. Tap the screen. He's definitely a great guest on the show. I always walk away feeling just a tad bit more intelligent. Not to say that I have much to begin with, but I get a little bit more from him every time. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 60,000, if you will. So corruption is genius. Yeah, it is for the person that's doing it. Yeah, it can be viewed that way. I mean, there's a lot of folks that will suggest that, like Trump, when it came out that Trump hadn't paid taxes and shit like that, and had found loopholes to pay very little in taxes, I had a whole lot of MAGA say that was genius. Well, you can't fault the guy. He found loopholes. So yeah, some people do view corruption as genius. Yes, absolutely they do. Am I freezing on TikTok? I may have to reset it. Looks like my TikTok is freezing for some reason, and It ain't got nothing to do with my Wi-Fi connection. It must be the thing here. We'll see if we can make it happen. If not, I may have to reset TikTok. Yeah, I don't know, because all the other platforms are running fine. So you guys on TikTok, give me 2 seconds. I'll reset it and come right back up. So you'll see me drop, and then you just put in the same shit to come back. It'll be up in like less than 5 seconds. Looking in the comments here on the other pages, and I'll dismiss that just to bring back up.
You get
TikTok.
not one, not.
You hear TikTok making noise in the background. Okay, let's go back on to the show. Looking in the comments, Dr. Fauci isn't the Epstein files. However, Trump family is in the Epstein files. Yeah, to me, Dr. Fauci is a witch hunt. I was going to tell you what it is. That the whole goal of Dr. Fauci was to find a way to hang the man. I got a poll question on YouTube right now. Whose Iran war information do you trust more? Not a lot of respondents on this one. Almost 200 respondents. Almost 200 respondents asking whose Iran information whose Iran war? So in other words, when it comes to the Iran war, who do you trust more in regards to the information that's coming out about it? The Trump administration or Iran? Almost 200 respondents, 36% say they trust the information more coming from the Trump administration. 64% say they trust the information coming from Iran. Wow. Dinkel, who do you trust more?
Well, look, I don't know that I trust either one, but I do trust international sources. And so, like, you gotta have information from more than one source to be talking about. I believe it. You gotta check it, and you gotta check the sources against other sources.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you though. I talked about this in the beginning of life. I actually trust the Iran side more. I'm not saying that Iran is almost always honest, but I actually don't even trust the Trump administration when it comes to how many people got killed, because they knocked down the casualty numbers. They're trying to suggest, first of all, they don't even call it a fucking war. Iran ain't doing nothing crazy like that. So the Trump administration is saying we're not at war. And I think they get, how many days do they get before they have to go to Congress? Is it
60 days?
60 okay. So 60 days, you can have some kind of incursion or excursion or conflict for 60 days. Anything after that, you gotta go to Congress to get permission.
And it's supposed to be in response. It's not supposed to be preemptive.
Oh, so that's even more. But what the Trump administration is doing, attempting to do, because I do believe they may have to answer to this in the future from other administrations, but what they're doing is to prevent from having to go to Congress on the 61st day. They're claiming they're chopping it up in ceasefires and calling them different conflicts. So we had Operation Epic Fury, and then they claim, well, we got a ceasefire, even though Iran is saying there is no ceasefire. We just stopped bombing them so we can say it's a ceasefire. Pick it up again in 5 or 6 more days, call it a different conflict, even though the ships ain't moved, everybody's doing the same shit they were doing last week, but now making it sound like it's a whole new conflict. So by the time this is done, we're gonna have like 5 or 6 different conflicts with Iran, but we never had a war. That's what they.
That's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
But that's Trump's MO. The same way he does with these people in these cabinet level positions, where he puts in these acting people, and he knows he can do that for 120 days. The same thing he's doing with Blanche, the same thing he's doing with the other people. He knows he can let that person be in there and do.
I gotta put on the MAGA hat. I gotta give Trump credit for this. You ever see the movie Casino with Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, and all of them?
Yes.
In the movie Casino, Robert De Niro was running a casino. I think they called it the Tangiers or something like that. And he had no legal right to run a casino. But what they were doing was putting him in different titles, and you could serve in as that title for a certain period of time before the Nevada Gaming Commission checked on you. And before they would check on him, they would move him to a different title. So he could run the casino the whole time, 6 months as a chef, maybe the next 6 months he's head of security, and just kept, that's what Trump is doing. he's
Right, but come on, Tim, man, you're giving him credit for doing something that mobsters did.
I'm giving him credit for look, if there's one thing that MAGA promised us this, that Trump was going to expose the deep state, expose corruption, expose the swamp. Now what he did is he jumped in the swamp and moved around and picked up creatures to show you, look, this is in here. He was in the swamp with them, but he
jumped in the swamp and he started having kids. He increased the swamp. He didn't go and decrease it.
Yeah. To me, he's like
people in. He brought his own people in, and they started joining the swamp. He created a whole new ecosystem inside the swamp.
Yeah, MAGA Reacts mentioned this yesterday, and I told him it's almost like you robbed the bank to show the bank you need to improve your security system. And that's what Trump is doing. Trump is showing us you need to get rid of all these loopholes. He is robbing the bank to show us how weak our security system is. Once Trump is
okay.
Huh?
That would be okay
if he gave the money back. If he gave the money back.
If he wasn't trying to stop the people who was trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay, I get it. You revealed how they doing this stuff, but now people are coming in trying to do their jobs and stop the stuff, and he's booting them out of office.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing that handsome conservative. I didn't see what you said, but thank you, handsome conservative. I did not see your comment now. Appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, what he has done, I strongly believe once Trump is gone, you let me know if you agree with this, but I strongly believe once Trump is gone, whether we get a Republican or a Democrat to supersede him, you're going to have a whole lot of bipartisan, both sides of the aisle. You're going to have a whole lot of bipartisan anti-Trump laws to prevent anybody else from exploiting all these loopholes that he has shown us. I think that both sides are going to be like, we don't need that to happen again.
True. I agree with that. I agree with that. It is sad that, like, that's what it takes to get, both sides to come together. But what I would like to know is, like, from the MAGA's perspective, what do they think about now that they done found out that they tapped James Comey's phone after he did the seashell things?
They don't care about that. They don't care about it.
They tapped his phone to try to create a case against him, and they even went so far as to get Sammy the Bull Gravano to testify to say that James Comey knew that 86 men killed him.
I saw them talking about that on The View, and I'm like, what are they talking about? I was working because I listen to a lot of news while I'm working, and I'm moving all the time. I heard, I'm like, why is this Comey? That is crazy. And I'll tell you something. To me, you shouldn't be to pardon your way out of that, because we know that goes right up to just like Watergate. That is something that was approved by you know who. That goes all the way to the top. That there's no way, if you actually put those folks' heads on the lines, I guarantee them folks would say that Trump approved this. We told him what we were going to do, and he was okay with it.
Right. Matter of fact, they already said it. They got transcripts from some of the people that had been in the room with Trump that say he was personally tracking the case and giving his opinion on what should happen. This is actual people on Air Force One who said, he's personally tracking it. He wants personal updates, all of that.
Well, you're not going to get any type of investigation from his DOJ. That don't have to happen with future administrations. But to me, it shouldn't. I don't care what pardon the Supreme Court gave him. It shouldn't apply to that. That's just a straight up fucking crime. Now you ask me how will MAGA feel about that though? They're not gonna give a fuck because they believe that Obama. Remember when Trump said Obama wiretapped his office? As long as Trump can convince them that what I did to somebody was done to me first, MAGA's all for revenge. So look, just like him using the justice system. Well, they went after him too. So just convince MAGA that it's being done on a revenge standpoint, and MAGA would be totally okay with it.
Right, yeah. I get it, man. Yeah. I can't understand You know, because I try to put myself in other people's positions to kind of try to get an understanding of why people, like, I understand why, you know, y'all was, you know, you had a lot of the, you know, the show was about like race and stuff like that. I understand why, if I was born into a situation that had always been told that I was better than somebody and I deserve to have more and all of that stuff, I can understand why that would happen. Why people would take that perspective. The same way they took the perspective with Nolan. The young man Nolan?
Mm-hmm. Nolan Wells, what about it?
Did you hear the audio tapes?
You know, with him, I heard the 911. I heard some of it. Cue me in on it. I have heard it. I'm drawing a blank on what I heard.
Yeah, they called the people, but I don't know if the guy who called realized it, because you know everybody was drinking and stuff. But the people in the back was saying, "Is he dead? Oh no, Nolan, please don't be dead." And the other guys in the background saying, "Shut the fuck up." They got tapes of people in the background screaming his name, asking if he's dead. Now, all of the people want to say, "Oh, this was just a mistake," and black people want to say this stuff and always want to accuse them. It's some shit going on.
I got 2 points to make on that. One, I have seen some clips on YouTube and stuff like that of people suggesting that the tapes were enhanced to make it sound like stuff.
No. This is separate from that. This
Okay.
is official. This is official audio that's been released. Like they know it's true.
Okay, fair enough.
By professionals, they've separated the voices. It is actually the boys calling for help. The 911 call, calling for help, asking for help.
Okay, fair enough. And the second point I was going to make is that I believe it looks suspicious as fuck. There's no doubt. I believe it. I don't think what happened to Nolan Wells is natural causes or some symbol. I believe there is some cover up going on. The only difference I have is I don't automatically jump to the point where it has to be racially oriented. I mean, they could be a group of friends that, as I mentioned on my last live, they were horse playing or done something, or maybe one of them got in a fight with him or something, and it went overboard and it cost him his life. And now they're like, "Dad, you know, this dude is like, well, I'm going to go to prison for the rest of my life. I'm not going to be able to go to college or some shit." And they're covering it up. I don't believe it has to automatically be racially oriented. I do believe there's a cover up.
Yeah, I agree. And that's definitely 100% possible. But the problem is we're dealing with Mississippi and the history.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Like, you can always try to be unbiased and be like, yeah, that has shit to do with it. But let me see this shit happen where it's, you know, it's...
I don't think it matters. I agree with you on Mississippi. And
four homeboys together and the white guy turned up dead.
Yeah, but I agree with the racial history of Mississippi, but that shit could happen in Illinois or Massachusetts. If you got 3 white dudes and the black guy's the only one that don't come back, they're gonna yell racism no matter where it happens.
Right, but all of this attack against the family, talking about, oh, Ben Crump is bringing all of this shit. Them people did not get answers in the very beginning until they brought on Ben Crump. Now all of a sudden, because at first, what did the officer that was in charge was like, "Oh yeah, this is, you know, there's no issues here. It was wrong, you know." There's something going on here.
Yeah.
They done call goddamn Officer Tatum. Why in the fuck would they call Officer Tatum? Because they know he was going to run. You already know a person like Officer Tatum or the Hodge twins. You already know what side. You know that's a biased. What do you want to call it? A reporter or a journalist, whatever, podcaster. You already know that dude is biased. I don't care. Take any situation that the black community is outraged about, and Officer Tatum is going to be on the other side of that issue. You don't even need to know what it is. You already know he is going to be on the same side that the white community is going to be on. Right. So initially, him and his buddy come out and say, "Hey, We didn't know nothing. We just went down to Mississippi. We rented a room to see what was going on, to try to find out what was going on. Then later on in the same interview, he says, yeah, the family contacted us, and they said they knew we was the only people who was going to be unbiased. So now he's down there sitting there with them. He's leading them questions. He ain't even talking about the case. He talking about, so what do you guys feel about the racial aspect?
He trying to be Nick Shirley. I don't look. Officer, I watch some of his content. I know where he stands on everything. To me, if you want to get any credibility at all, you can't get interviews from a dude like that. He is way too polarizing. I mean, because there was an African American woman. I cannot think of her name right now, and the cop just got a hefty sentence. But the police were called. She called the police herself. This woman did. Police show up. She's in the kitchen boiling something on the stove or whatever. Cops come in talking shit, and she starts saying, I rebuke you or something like that. She's cooking, so she picks up a pot of boiling water. The cop is like on the other side of the kitchen counter, 20 feet or more away, and he actually shoots her in the head and kills her, suggesting that she might have threw her. Somebody's pointing out Sonia Massey is the woman. And Officer Tatum, when that case was really controversial, because it's on video of them shooting and killing her, and the cop not giving her any aid or anything, shooting this woman on the other side of the kitchen, Officer Tatum was trying to say it was a justifiable shooting, to the point where in the comment section, even MAGA were like, man, I love your content, but I don't know about this one, dude. He was trying to defend, he was trying to say Sonia Massey's killing was justified. Like, so Officer Tatum is way too polarizing.
And for him to get on TV talking about the family personally called him and said they really enjoy his show, lets you know, look, regardless of what anybody say, for me, a black man, they whole family is MAGA. So if their whole family is MAGA, why in the fuck would I believe that this young black man had a fair shot in this situation, whether it was intentional or not? If it was not intentional, me as my brother, as they all keep saying, should have came straight to the fucking police, not took his shit to the house, his car keys and his phone, and there's all these people talking about, well, he stayed with some other people at the shoreline. So you telling me everybody left, or just left this one drunk black dude just staggering around somewhere?
Well, Officer Tatum was on News Nation talking to Cuomo, and he interviewed him, and if I'm correct, Tatum said that that Nolan stayed behind because he was trying to holler at some chick or something like that.
Right, we understand that, but then the chick has already been talked to, and she said, like, no, like he might have stayed for her, but like she left. So who the fuck did he stay with then?
Well, were they already gone at that point, though?
All I'm saying is that when you leave a big party like that and everybody's out there doing their thing and everybody's getting ready to leave, how does this motherfucker with no friends that, like, they left? Who saw him last? Like, did they see him still on the beach and everybody just left when they all be talking about how there was so many people, it was all friends and everybody knew each other? And it's some bullshit.
It looks suspicious as hell. It looks like it's a cover up. Unfortunately, though, because they all lawyered up and they're not talking, there's no way to get to the bottom of that. Unless
with this new audio that came out, it's gonna be some motherfucking questions.
There could be questions.
Saying, is he dead? And they said, oh my God, Nolan, don't die.
Yeah, you could give questions, but as long as they're lawyering up, their lawyers are going to tell them how to respond to that stuff in a way that it does not convict them. I think what's going to end up happening is that it'll probably end up being a cold case. I mean, they lawyered up in the beginning. I would even watch a lot of these killers on the first 48. If you lawyer up in the beginning, there's a lot of shit that wouldn't be solved. The fact is, people start talking and singing way too early.
But there's also so many people involved. It's going to be hard. I know that's a close-knit circle, but there's so many people that have been involved that can be incredible.
Throw some money at it. Put some D's on that bitch. If you really want to get to let the African American community and people who care about Nolan Wells that are not just African Americans. GoFundMe put up $1 million for the actual truth. If it leads to an arrest,
it's already at 250,000.
More.
You gotta understand that this is a very affluent area.
That's why I said $1 million.
These kids have their own fucking 20-foot Boston Whalers with, twin outboards, and they got their own docks, and it's gonna take a lot more.
Yes, that's why I said $1 million. I don't know. Like I said, if you don't do it that way, the only other way is to hope that one of them get caught up in the system and snitches for a lower, but that's real low on the scale of happening.
Somebody could get scared or somebody could get nervous,
Yeah.
but
They lower it up early though, didn't Cal? Scaring them and shit is stuff you get out of suspects when they don't have a lawyer. But when they got lawyers, will tell you right off the bat. Cops are allowed to lie to you. Don't let them scare you. They don't know shit.
But the problem is they got some of these kids on tape sitting in front of Mr. Tatum that was saying some shit that's disprovable. And so if the county don't aggressively look into this stuff, which I know, like, all of them know each other. Like, obviously, the guy's father is one of the guy's mother is a federal judge or some shit. Like, it's gonna be difficult, but I hope this shit don't go away, because if it was a mistake, I just want to know it was a fucking mistake.
I don't think it's a mistake. The way they acting.
I don't think somebody personally like did something to hurt him, but if he drowned and everybody was drunk and like, I just, just let that come out.
I absolutely could believe it's that somebody may have done something to him personally. I brought up the case that was in the news a few years back. Now, this was all white kids, and one of the girls was standing over a cliff or a bridge or something, and she was going to bungee jump, or she was going to dive into a river or something. It was a good jump down. She was thinking about doing it, but she was hesitant. And one of her friends just came up and shoved her over, and she fell and got severely injured from that fall. The friend ended up.
She died.
Did she die in it? I know it was. Yeah.
They said she was still living when they went down there to check on her, but ultimately she died.
Right, and the person who did it got very small, but got a prison sentence. She ended up going to prison. So what I'm saying is, you get a bunch of dudes together, testosterone floating around, horse playing and shit. It's possible that something could have happened where it cost Nolan Wells' life accidentally, because the woman that pushed her was not actually trying to kill her. She was not trying to do that. She was horse playing, pushed her over and ended up. So I think it could be something like that. And then the person, maybe, and I'm obviously speculating here, but maybe the person that did it convinced the friends and shit like that. You guys know I didn't try to do this. Do y'all want to see me go to fucking prison? And worked out, to help.
Right. And another tidbit is remember they said he stayed with a girl. They know the girl, her name is Katie, and they know one of the guys that was there was either her ex or current boyfriend. So you can understand the dynamics of all of them being there, and this guy is talking to your ex or your current girlfriend. He's the only black kid there. I hate to do it, but we know these are the dynamics that come.
It can be. I'm not discounting. I don't necessarily jump right to the racism level, but I'm not going to discount the possibility of it.
Right. And so that guy was there. He was a part, and I think he was on that boat when they were talking about whether Nolan was dead or not. And somebody saying that he's dead. I don't understand how anybody at this point, after they listen to the audio tape, not understand that there's some fuck shit going on, and that everything was justified about making this more of an issue, because they were going to sweep this shit under the rug if you would have let them.
Yeah, just like George Zimmerman and many other, Ahmad Diallo. Yeah, they absolutely do that. I got Ahmad Arbery is who I'm thinking about. Yeah, they definitely do that. I got to move it on, though, then, Cal. I believe, just like you, it's suspicious. We'll see if it turns out to be racist, but it wouldn't shock me if it is. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully his death gets solved.
Yeah, final thing. I don't understand how in the hell these people is tripping out talking about they done solved some big problem with Fauci because he pled the fifth. Yeah. Oh, you ain't paying attention. Look at what happened with Fauci.
Everybody thinks that, until one of they guys, wait till all the investigations happen after Trump is gone. They're going to be okay with Vance and Rubio and all of them pleading the fifth. So,
yeah, it's the craziest thing.
Yeah, that's how it is, biased. But I got to move on, Denkel. Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
Anytime. All right, moving on with the program. Looking in the comments, and I saw some of you folks talking about the Nancy Grace audio. I have not heard that. I am curious and interested in hearing it, but looking from what I can see here, most of the clips are pretty long, so I'm not going to be able to play on social media, play it on this show because I don't see any short clip. But I do want to hear that audio from Nancy Grace in regards to Nolan Wells, so I will check that out after the live stream. Tap the screen, get the likes on up if you will. Help your boy with the hat mustache, TikTok cap goals. In the comments, you know what wise man once said, don't hate the player, hate the game. Handsome Conservative says, yeah. Well, if the game is oppressing or victimizing people, you're going to hate the game as well. Trump said we would stop funding the Taliban, but we never did, yet we're putting America first. Well, I'm going to go, and Jumbo Shrimp, love the name, love the food. I'm going to go with what Marjorie Taylor Greene is arguing about. Trump is not America first. He is not. Even the folks who like Trump have a hard argument to make that he's America first. There's no way in hell you should be talking about, liberating Venezuelans and Cubans and Iranians and all this shit if you're America first. What Trump is doing, I think Trump is Trump first. The biggest beneficiaries of Trump's second term is him, his family, and close associates. The average American is not benefiting of any significance from the Trump administration. That's not to say you may not benefit later. I mean, a lot of folks believe getting rid of the immigrants may make Americans benefit. It may create jobs. A lot of folks believe the terrorists may make Americans benefit. It may bring money to America. It may create jobs and manufacturing plants. All of that may, possibly, could be. It is not happening now. Right now, Trump has been president for nearly 2 years, and the average American is actually doing worse. They're not doing better. They're doing worse. The average American is doing worse. And for the Trump supporters, that's what's keeping folks on the hook, is the hope. It's kind of like a participation trophy or something of sorts. Two issues. One, we believe what he's doing will ultimately benefit us. Two, well, at least he's better than Kamala Harris. But in terms of what is he actually doing is benefiting you now, virtually nothing. Virtually nothing. It's just all hope. Well, I don't have to worry about my child playing against a biological male in school and sports. Was she playing against one before Trump came along? No, but now I don't have to worry about it no more. Okay, so that didn't benefit you at all. You're just hoping that it was never going to be in it. It's all hope. It's all hope. So, and like I said, I'll give them credit when something happens where the people are benefiting. But for the most part, what Trump is doing is not benefiting America. Yet, and I'll let you guys take that where you may. Said he's running 2028, don't make that. Well, Trump talking about running in 2028. I think, first of all, we could talk about the Constitution. We can certainly talk about his age, because he doesn't come across as a man that's capable of being president for 6+ years. Because he has 2 years and a few months to go for this term, and then we're going to expect him to do another 4 years after that. Does he look healthy enough to do that now? So we can talk about the Constitution not allowing a third term. We can talk about Father Time and his age. Last but not least, I don't think at this point the American people would even elect him. He would have to do some kind of coup or dictator type shit, because he's lost a lot of MAGA. If we held another free and fair election, he would not get a third term. The people, you've seen his poll numbers, what I just had on the screen, and my poll numbers for Trump are higher than what they actually are. He's in the low 30s now. My graphic has him at 39%. He's lower than that now. So, and thank you for the hat and mustache there, Mike the Sailor. Yeah, appreciate that. So he's not going to win a third term. That you can forget that. His performance as Trump 2.0 has not been worthy enough to win a third term. Remember, Trump won by not just getting a white vote. He improved himself with the African American men. He improved himself with Hispanics, men and women. All of that shit's gone. All that, you got MAGA white males that have left him. The Tucker Carlsons, the Alex Jones. You got white male MAGA that have left him. I guarantee it's going to look dismal when you look at the African American and immigrant communities. Especially, I actually think for all of the African Americans I get on the show that call him racist, what he's done to immigrants is worse. I mean, most African Americans have been mildly affected, negatively, of course, from Trump, but he's ruined immigrant lives completely. So we vote for Donald Trump. That ain't happening no more. There's no way he would win a third term. It's impossible at this point. Looking in and of course, nobody believes him. So if he campaigns on something, nobody believes it's going to happen. Let me go back to the box. And I see in the comments, here's an interesting one. This came from Normalizing Wrong Think, says this moldy milk dud has no clue. Appreciate your comment. We don't blackmail or censor. We appreciate your input. We think you're crazy, maybe even slightly intolerant, bigoted. We can use the R word, but we don't mind your comment. Tanaji said, Tim, you only need to play the first 2 minutes of the Nancy Grace video to hear the call. I'll see if I can find the clip you're talking about. You don't wage war knowing you have depleted munitions. That's a fatal mistake. Look, what we did was at the behest of Netanyahu. Call it what it is. What we did is at the behest of Netanyahu. Our own intelligence agencies. You'll probably end up having Tulsi Gabbard called to testify before Congress once the Democrats are back in control. She stated that they were not developing a nuke. Trump stated that they were. So did Hegseth. They're going to have to come up and explain where that intelligence came from. The Democrats are going to. We went to war based on this intelligence, this phantom intelligence. Where did it come from? So the Democrats are going to probably call Tulsi Gabbard to testify, and they're going to want Pete Hegseth. I don't know about Trump because he's a president, but they can go after his administration. They can go after top brass in the military. Like, did you guys see anything to verify what they're talking about? The generals or the admirals or whoever, they can go after them and ask them, like, did you see anything to suggest that what Trump said was accurate? I mean, otherwise you're just killing people for the sake of killing them. So you'll hear from those folks. You will absolutely hear from them. Same thing with the Navy admiral that just instantly resigned when we started blowing up boats off the coast of Venezuela. You're going to hear from that dude. He's an African American that just resigned and dropped his post because we were talking about they were carrying drugs. They were drug runners. They're going to breed. Did we just kill somebody for the sake of killing them, or did you have any actual evidence that they were drug runners? That's going to come up. All of that stuff's going to come back up because you're not. I don't know if you're immune for just killing people. All of that stuff, they're going to have to explain all of that. In the comments, I'm bringing up a guest. I don't know what the name there is. Zaire, I think it says. If blue equals socialism, I'll pass. Thank you. So what are you okay with socialism if it's red? Make that make sense. If the left could go 4 years without shitting on white people or just being deranged in general, they probably would sweep the next presidential election. I don't agree with that, Jeremiah, because if the left went 4 years without shitting on white people or being deranged, as you say, that would not stop the right from accusing them of shitting on people or being deranged. Remember, we got a president that's accusing people of eating cats and dogs. It don't actually need to be happening for people to make up lies. So I don't think that would make any difference at all. You would have people just make up and say it's happening. Remember Hillary Clinton drinking the blood of babies and all this shit? They just make up some shit. If we don't have a real scandal, we'll just make one up. Isn't that what we just talked about? Wiretapping Comey's phone? He's making up scandals. Let me go back to the box. I'm having trouble bringing up guests. We'll try with Miss Mo Better. Good evening, Miss Mo.
Hi, Phil. What does he mean by shitting on white people? Shitting on white people how?
Accusing them of stuff they believe ended hundreds of years ago. In other words, modern day white people feeling like they're being blamed for the sins of the past.
Well, see, that's what happens when you sweep stuff under the rug, and instead of picking it up and putting it in the trash, it turns a little molehill into a mountain. You understand what I'm saying? So when they come to stuff like that, when they were saying how slavery was abolished, no, it was just pacified. It was never abolished. All they did, and like Smokey was saying earlier, which he was really teaching people some stuff.
Smokey is the shit.
How the language. It's the verbiage that's used that makes things the way they are. You know, I'm gonna switch it from one thing to the other. Like certain things are legal but not lawful. So it's a lot. It takes a lot to learn this stuff, and it's gonna take them to go read and do a lot of history, a lot of research on as to why we're in our certain positions.
Well, in the comments, Chris is saying that we are tired of this victim mentality. You know, as a white person, he's just tired.
Who the fuck is playing victim? Would they knock that shit off? It's not our fault you don't like the way your history looks. So you think people supposed to stop because you feel uncomfortable about the conversation? Knock that victim shit off. First of all, who's complaining more than MAGA? And they got the House, the Senate, the White, they got the DOJ, they have everything, Supreme Court. And who whines more than fucking MAGA?
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you. The Trump administration plays, every time Trump talks, he's talking about how he was victimized. They stole the election from me. They wiretapped my office. They tried to every time that man talks, he's telling you how somebody tried to victimize him.
Every time. I don't know if they watched that correspondence. He could, even at when he was at Lindsey Graham's funeral, he couldn't even talk there without complaining about fucking something. Oh, they didn't like this. They didn't like me. He didn't like me. They didn't like him. A lot of, make that shit make sense.
Well, listen, Ms. Mobetta, it's Trump. We hold Trump in higher regards. He can do things that other people do that we might hold accountable, but we like him, so we'll kind of give him a pass.
No, speak for yourself.
No, that's how I'm speaking for MAGA. It would be like your aunt, like your uncle that's on crack, or your old grandma that's senile.
I get it. Okay.
You know, that's just how grandma does things. You just give her a pass.
But see, when they see the numbers, you see the approval ratings and all kinds of stuff, then they'll say people is making up shit because he'll get on there and try to destroy the media for reporting it. First of all, you can't. The people that were in place to keep all of these numbers and all kind of stuff intact, he got rid of all of that stuff. You got rid of all the people so he can get up there and lie. He listen, when that motherfucker blinks lies.
They tell me that. I got all these bright ass lights in my face, and I'm watching these tiny ass screens. They tell me I blink too much and I'm lying. So I can only sympathize with Trump because I get told the same shit.
Listen, I've been telling people in your chat, not a lot of them, like Pizza Lover, that thing, always talk about I don't know shit. Like, listen, shut your ass up. But I do, a little bit what Smokey was talking about earlier. Y'all go and cop that book, Meet Your Straw Man, and anything you want to know.
Well, how about this? Maybe it's
UCC connection, and you see how the United States Corporation works.
But how about this? Maybe it's just that the African American population has their politics wrong. In the comments, Phillips 4282 says the Republican Party is the party that embraces colored Americans. What say you?
Huh? Right down here.
I'm just reading the comments. I'm just the host.
I tell him what. Tell him whoever made that comment. Tell him to give Obama his phone back. Yeah. He was a colored man. Y'all keep wanting to say colored. Like what color? You're white. Is white not a color? That's like what's cold. Your ass is pink. Is that not a color?
I'm just reading the comments.
I'm just saying, when you're sick, you turn blue, purple. Is that not a color? So who the fuck are you calling colored? The fuck? I'm
just the host. That's all I am. I have to read it.
Like, listen. Like, it's crazy because they keep saying people with victim mentality. All you hear is them bitching.
Yeah, I got a viewer right now. Jumbo Swim says technically prisons are considered slave. He's saying that white and black, neither one of them is a color. Somebody even said that the Democrats are a cancer. Who says that? Macom says the left is a cancer in the world. So he wants a far right planet.
And which numbers are they getting that from?
I don't know because I don't know of any.
Those statistics. Where are they getting their statistics from?
And not only where they getting their statistics from, I would ask this question. Show me a far right country on the planet you want to model us out there. You want to be ISIS, the Taliban, Al Qaeda? What? I'm
just saying, Russia.
Right. There's no far right country you want to pattern ourselves after. Yeah.
They like to appear that they're intelligent because they follow somebody who's of low morality. He's low. He has low verbiage. And they follow that, so they don't want to be wrong when they speak. So all they know how to do is criticize and point the finger. There's never any accountability for anything.
Well,
like listen,
But wait a minute, you talk about lack of accountability. I gotta bring up. I had a few guests claim that black people can't be racist. That sounds like that's dodging accountability that African Americans are doing.
Yeah, we're not getting ready to go there again, Tim. You know my feeling. We're not getting
That's
ready to go there.
dodging accountability.
You're not gaslighting me with that.
I'm saying that's dodging. That's a dodge. In the comments, Smokey.
You can call it what you want. I'm not touching it.
I'm gonna call it a dodge for African Americans. But in the comments, Smokey makes an interesting point. He says, "Why do you call yourself white when you're more pink than white, Steve Bilko?" and
listen, this is what I'm trying. This is what I'm saying. That's what I said. They called black people colored. No, you might have called us darker, but when you call a color, y'all change more shades than anybody. And not only that, you sit in the sun and with standing the risk of catching melanoma trying to look like me. Y'all didn't like people that look like me, but we breastfed y'all kids.
It's interesting you say that.
Food. You trusted that.
It's interesting you say that because I used to use that.
Y'all was humping on us.
I used to use that as a joke when I lived in Australia to my white friends. I used to tell them because skin cancer is really prevalent down there, and they got you see it on bus stops and things like that, telling you to put on sunscreen. And I used to tell them, I said that that's God's way of punishing y'all asses for being where you don't belong. Like this was meant, like you if you stayed up there in Sweden or in England somewhere, you wouldn't be dealing with this shit. Like this is your punishment for coming down here.
But again, I want them to stop that claim that we being this victim mentality. Listen, again, it's not our fault that you weren't taught the correct history and stuff like that, and that the history that you do see is ugly as fuck. That's not our problem.
Yeah, I don't think it would matter though. I think that even if they were 100% honest, which they absolutely are not, and they did try to lie about history and downplay it and whitewash it, but I think even if they were 100% honest about it, we're not going to stop talking about it because it is our ancestry.
Hey, listen, and why should we stop talking about it? Because you feel uncomfortable?
That's what they want.
Y'all stop playing victim now.
Here's what I say all the time that I don't understand though, is that how can you defend Confederate statues and waving the Confederate flag and naming bases at the Confederacy, but then tell the African American community, you need to stop talking about what happened in the past. Like these events happen at the same time. So you want to defend and celebrate your ancestry by telling them they need to shut the fuck up about theirs. These events literally happen simultaneously. So it's like, to me, now that is racist to me, telling me to stop talking about my history, but you can talk about your great-grandparents, but you don't want me to talk about mine.
Holocaust, right? They remember the Holocaust, right? Yeah, and that didn't even happen here.
Yeah, but to me, that's about as racist as it can get. If you want people to stop talking about the past, then you got to stop talking about the past. Take down all of that shit.
You can't don't be selective. Don't be selective when it comes to shit like that, because we're a little different than our ancestors. You understand? We do have a lot more freedoms than they had back in the day. And we don't just say yes sir, no sir. You come up with some shit. Don't let again, I keep saying this, don't let your audacity make you think that you have the authority to say some shit, and people are not gonna snap back, because listen, it is 2026. So you can call us angry. You can call us ghetto. You can call anything you want to call. Make sure you spell it right.
Look, like I said, it's history. I don't tell German folks that, or people who are friends. I don't tell the Mexicans not to celebrate Cinco de Mayo or the Irish not to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. It's your history, it's your ancestry. Unfortunately, the ancestry and the history for blacks, it's horrible. It's atrocious, but it is the history. What do you want them to just eliminate 400 years of their history so that it doesn't sound bad? That's what actually happened.
You know what the crazy thing is, Tim? Because they hear people like that stupid ass Nick Fuentes or whatever his bitch ass name is, and get up there and talk all kind of hella shit about, the black people do this and the black people do that, and as soon as you bring up what the white folks did, then stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Like y'all can't have it both ways. You're not going to have it both ways. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I see in the comments, Hanson Conservative says, you are different than your ancestors. They had a right to complain, and you're playing victim. I don't know. How is it?
And that's that fuck shit that we're talking about. Again, because they allow their audacity to confuse with authority. They still think they have some type of authority over us to where we can't speak what we feel like we can want to speak. That's our story. You don't think trauma has been passed down generational?
Yeah, I know it has.
You can't just tell people to get over. So I don't give a fuck who gave you the audacity to say that that we're playing victim, but you can go somewhere and scratch and sniff with it.
Yeah, I don't like the playing victim thing, because you're right. When somebody's traumatized, it's just like I will bring up my grandfather, for example. He fought in World War II. He died in 1999, still hating the Japanese. And obviously that war had ended long before that. I mean, you don't know what trauma does to somebody. And when you start telling that, just like there are a lot of Caucasian folks that have a negative opinion for black people, and they've never been victimized by them. Maybe they're watching Fox, maybe they're listening to the media. So I don't know, why is it that you can develop that opinion towards African Americans, like Charlie Kirk? He wasn't hanging around nobody black, had very negative opinions. But my grandma or great grandma may have told me stories about how she was getting abused pre-civil rights, and I'm not supposed to say anything about that, but Charlie Kirk can talk?
Mine too. My great grandmother sat and told us the stories of how they were treated, and how they had to flee an area because of what the white man was doing to them.
Yeah, I don't get that. I know a lot of I'm gonna say it what I say all the time. A lot of my beloved MAGA have a negative opinion about immigrants. They'll bring up Lincoln Riley in some of these cases. You ain't been victimized by an immigrant at all. You're developing that solely based on what you're seeing on TV. But if a black person's grandma who actually was victimized, you don't think they shouldn't have no ill will, but you can have it based on Lincoln Riley?
Lincoln Riley, exactly. You want to make laws and all that shit because of that.
Right.
And the thing is, here's the thing, Tim. See, back when the civil rights, this is where I think we kind of failed at. When we were fighting, we should have been fighting for human rights. And that's what a lot of Smokey was talking about. We should have been fighting for human rights and not civil rights. Those are two different entities. You understand what I'm saying? So even when the Civil Rights Act was passed, the human rights still didn't include us. No. So a lot of that stuff, and then when we did go to build our own, guess what they were doing? Bombing them, flooding them, and different things like that. When we were trying to build our own to keep us separate because y'all didn't really want to deal with us anyway, y'all wanted to take that away from us. The land that we were supposed to get, which was supposed to be the 40 acres and a mule, y'all gave it to the slave owners for losing slaves.
They don't want to talk about that. You talk about reparations. Reparations the white, reparations with the white people. They don't want to talk about that. I gotta move it on though.
Tell them to go do some research before and stop saying, playing victim. Y'all don't even know what the fuck it means. Y'all get up here talking dumb shit that y'all done heard Trump put on that Temu Twitter, aka the True Socialist Temu Twitter.
Well, now you got to pay if you want to get the comments early. So he's making money off of that.
Oh well. Listen, we don't have to stop talking about shit. If you don't like it, go find something else to do with your time. Go color something. Go visit the Black History Museum and read about some shit. Oh, are you scared to go there? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, they're not scared. They just don't care about the black experience. They didn't go through it, so it ain't their fight. I got to move it on. No, Mr. Better.
You's a bitch ass that stay in the comments. Don't ever come up. You don't gift. You don't do shit. So shut your ass up. You want to be white boy?
I'll leave it at that. In the comments, speaking of the comments, and tap the screen. Yeah, speaking of which, some of you guys can show some love. Help your boy out with the hat and mustache. TikTok cap goals, if you will. Help your boy out. I have no problem with reparations. Show me a slave that has gotten it and I'll give it to them. Well, that's not how it works, handsome conservative. The reparations are supposedly because the current existing African Americans are still behind due to slavery. Just like if you were to go out right now and get ran over by a FedEx truck and you have children, they can sue and receive something. You think FedEx is going to tell them, well, show me somebody who actually got hit by a truck? Because why are you in court suing us on behalf of your dad? You didn't get hit. No, because they were put at a disadvantage from losing you. That's how it works. Now, the problem is the modern day white community, at least the ones that lean right, because a lot of white liberals probably would be in favor of reparations. But the problem is that a lot of folks on the right did not want to do it when the former slaves were still alive. And every generation since, they kept making up excuses for why they didn't want to do it, up to now just simply saying, it's been too long ago. But the fight for reparations has existed the whole time. They just kept coming up with different reasons for why they didn't want to do it. And I always give the example of playing the game of Monopoly. Playing the game, everybody played Monopoly when they were a kid. And you got a bunch of players, one player being an African American. And let's say they're starting the game off in the year 1619. And the African American player is told, everybody else is going to play the game, but you have to stay on go. You're not going to be able to go around and buy property. You're not going to be able to land on community chests and see what's under there, or what is the other one? Chance. You're not going to collect $200 when you pass go. We got one. Hang on a second. I'll bring you up in a minute. I saw your flag there, conservative. But the point I'm saying is this. The African American is stuck on go. All the other white players are allowed to go around the game. They're buying up property. They're landing on community chests and chance. They're buying waterworks. They own all of this shit. They own the railroads, all of that stuff. And the game continues playing like that from 1619 to at least 1865. Some would argue 1964. By the time the African American is told, okay, now you can play the game. We're all equal now. Everybody can play and buy. First of all the properties are bought up. So the African American player is just landing on everybody's shit. He stays fucking broke because all the properties have been purchased. There's houses and hotels on everything because they don't had 400 years to buy all this shit up. So he's not. So the point I'm making is, let's say, because you know Monopoly goes on forever. So that original group of people, they all die off and they're allowed to hand their pieces, their money they've collected, their bank, the properties they own, they hand it off to their kids. And their kids continue playing the game now that the parents are dead. And that keeps going down generation after generation after generation. One thing will be apparent. Every African American descendant that is handed the piece from it, you're going to always be behind because of what happened in those first 400 years. You're always going to be behind. That is the outcry for reparations, that the game was played so unfairly in the beginning that this player just can't fucking catch up. No matter what he does, he's never going to catch up. Now, the modern players are like, well, I didn't have nothing to do with that. Yeah, but all of them hotels you got, that's where they came from. All of the houses you got, that's where that stuff came. Well, I didn't do it. No, but you're benefiting from it. So that is the call for. Now I know folks who folks who do not believe in reparations, you could take them back to the day after slaves being free and they still wouldn't. The people who don't agree with reparations now would not have agreed with giving it to former slaves either. That's the reason why we're still talking about it now. Is the folks in this country that lean right had an excuse not to give it to every subsequent generation since. So they can say now where there's no slaves around, but they wouldn't have agreed with it back then either. But that's the point I'm making, is the monopoly analogy, is that the player that keeps receiving the pieces from the person that was held back for 40 years, that player's going to be behind all the other players no matter how long they keep playing. That player's just never going to catch up because of what was done. Handsome, conservative. I assume you disagree with something. Good evening.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
I said good evening. I assume you disagree with something.
Oh, no, I came up because earlier you were talking about Donald Trump and how he is dove into the pool and showed everybody how corrupt everything really was.
Yeah.
You know, being able to get away with the things that you're saying he's gotten away with.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Do you think he...
Hate the player, hate the game, because he's doing what they're allowing him to do. If there were checks and balances, then he wouldn't be able to do it.
I don't.
The Democrats and the Republicans are both guilty of leaving the door open. He's just doing.
No. I understand your analogy, hate the player, hate the game, but I disagree with it in regards to Trump, is because Trump ain't just using loopholes. He is behaving like a mob boss, whereas he is basically telling Congress, if you do your job and perform a checks and balances on my administration, we will kill your political career. Maybe even you. Then that's not hate the player, that's not the game. That's threats. That ain't hate the player, hate the game. That's somebody making actual threats. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene said she got death threats from MAGA.
All I'm saying is if they weren't dirty, he wouldn't have anything to hold over him. So they must be dirty, because he's got to have something to hold over him to get away with doing what he's doing. I don't believe. No, I disagree. I don't think they're dirty. I don't think there's any evidence to suggest Liz Cheney was dirty. No, he's costing you your career. He'll have nothing to hold over you. If Trump says we need to get rid of that politician in Kentucky, MAGA's going to get rid of that politician in Kentucky, even if that person is a choir member. They don't give a shit if you're dirty or not. It's because Trump said get rid of you. I doubt very seriously the Republican or Democrat in Congress and the Senate are a choir member. They are about as dirty as they can get. So, I mean, it's common sense. They're in there taking what they can take, leaving as rich as they can be. They're not working for the American people, they're working for themselves. So therefore they're dirty. He's got dirt on him. And you're right, he is acting like a mob boss. But maybe it takes a mob boss to point out just how dirty they are. Do you think Trump is dirty? I mean, the House and the Senate are dirty. Do you believe Trump is dirty? Do I believe Trump is dirty? No, I believe Trump is showing just how dirty the Congress and the Senate are. Okay. So, this guy makes $2.2 billion, like 6,000 times his yearly salary. And he's clean. Look how much money that the people in the Congress and the Senate leave with. That's the point I'm making. That's from bribery. That's the point I'm making. Is that we're going to look at Marjorie Taylor Greene being worth $25 million and say she's dirty. But this man makes $2.2 billion in a single year and somehow he's not? He's making $2.2 billion. Is that what you said? Billion with a B. In 1 year. In that case, no, you're right. No, I'll give you credit where credit's due. If he's making that kind of money, and that's the first time I heard it, but if he's making that kind of money, then absolutely you're right. He's doing some shit this year.
Where do you get you haven't heard Trump made $2.2 billion. Where do you get your news from?
I told you, I don't watch news from America. I watch overseas news, and mainly stuff on Iran right now. I mean, honestly, I stopped watching cable news back about a year ago because it's always just politics, and that shit gets old real fast.
I don't know. Look, if to me that's a huge piece of news. So I'm fine with getting your news from multiple sources, but if the news sources you are absorbing didn't cover that, you need to diversify them a little bit. That should have been in your news source somewhere. That's a huge story.
Fair enough. I'll give you that. I mean, like I said, I've been watching stuff on Iran and what's going on over there with Israel and us being over there. I haven't been watching American news. That shit will drive you crazy after a while.
I get that. I get that. But like I said, when you're pointing out dirty politicians and you don't know that the head of them all made $2.2 billion, I am going to question it. I want you to hear this clip. Go ahead. What are you about to say?
I was just going to say, I'll give you what you're saying. If he's making that kind of money, I'll agree with you. But
Okay.
I do want to say this. It still doesn't change the fact that he's got some dirt on them, because if he didn't, they would be doing their jobs. They wouldn't be bowing down to him, kissing his ass. So clearly, he's got dirt on him.
Yeah, I don't think if I can cause you to lose your job, that in itself is blackmail. Let's say you really like your job, you're really profitable from what you're doing. Let's say you're making your money legit, but you really like what you're doing, and you really like what you're making, and you know that I can snap my fingers and get you fired. I don't have anything on you. I just have the ability to get you fired.
With millions of dollars, you have to be doing something.
I don't agree with that.
To leave with that kind of
I don't agree. I believe that if Trump says to get rid of somebody, that is all that's that. You don't have to have any dirt on you at all. He can make up the dirt on you. He can say you're involved in shit that you're not.
He doesn't need to make up dirt on them. If they're leaving Congress and the Senate with millions and millions of dollars, that's clearly not their.
I don't even think all of them are not leaving. Yeah, but all of them are not even leaving with millions and millions of dollars. I don't think Adam Kinzinger, he was involved in the January 6th stuff. That dude ain't got millions of dollars. MAGA got rid of him. There's plenty of Republicans that MAGA has gotten rid of that don't have millions and millions of dollars. All you need is for Trump to say this is a dirty person and we need to get rid. He don't have to prove any of the dirt. He can make up the dirt. Just like he got a lot of folks to go to Ohio by simply saying people were eating cats and dogs. He didn't prove shit. And people went there messing with them folks.
You're right. He could make up some shit.
Yeah.
Our disagreement is he doesn't need to make up shit because they're dirty. Check. Go online and check how much these people are worth. That'll give you all the information that you need right there. Because if you look at what they get paid and you look at what they leave with, I promise you, it is drastically different.
So you think all 500 plus members of Congress are dirty? Then they all got plenty of money after a certain period of time. I mean, you think they're all dirty?
And they're taking bribes from the donors.
Okay.
Instead of working for the people. That's dirty.
Well, based on what you're using to justify dirt, then you think Trump's whole family is dirty because all of them are doing that.
I got half of that, so I'm just going to agree because if Trump takes the money, he can do his thing.
Okay. I don't know if you can hear this. I want you to hear this clip. Because of your audio, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but I'll play it. And we can
First time in his new Air Force One, a $400 million gift from Qatar. Hundreds of millions in U.S. taxpayer money then spent to retrofit the Qatari plane. And tonight here, also the new disclosure. President Trump made $2.2 billion last year. Tonight, why he says he's profiting. Here's Rachel Scott.
Tonight, President Trump taking off for the first time in his brand new Air Force One, an unprecedented $400 million gift from the government of Qatar. retrofitted by the Pentagon with hundreds of millions of American tax dollars.
So this will be the first flight of what I think is maybe the greatest commercial plane ever built.
White House staffers posting pictures inside, spacious rooms, gleaming fixtures. And when President Trump leaves the White House, it all goes with him. A highly unusual arrangement that transfers ownership of the plane to his presidential library. It comes as the president's mandatory financial disclosure forms show that in his first year back in office, President Trump pulled in a stunning $2.2 billion in income, 3 times more than what he made the year before. Our Mary Bruce asking the president,
what message does this send to average Americans, especially those who may be struggling right now financially?
I don't get involved in my personal, we have funds that run my money.
Unlike past presidents, President Trump has not put his business into a blind trust. It's being run by his sons, Don Jr. and Eric, who accompanied him on today's flight. $1.4 billion of the money he made last year came from his family's crypto business, which boomed as his administration loosened regulations on the industry.
We're going to be the undisputed crypto capital and Bitcoins.
Handsome conservative, talk to me.
First of all, I heard that really well, so you're coming through now. Second of all, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't we pay for the president's plane to be outfitted like it was supposed to be all the time?
No, Air Force One is just like the presidential limo and just like a Marine one. It's used by each. No, it comes from taxpayer money, but you don't take it with you. You don't take the jet with you as a parting gift. It goes to the next commander in chief. It don't go in your library or your Smithsonian. He's taking it with him.
Well, I would say on the airplane alone, I would say that first of all, you shouldn't take it with him because it's Air Force One. But second of all, if it's the new Air Force One, then the taxpayers usually pay for it.
It ain't the new. That's my point. It's not the new Air Force One. That's why he's taking the Air Force One they have now. The one you see behind me. Trump during his first term authorized the creation of a second one. He is telling us it got put back for a couple years, so he's going to fly this new one until they complete that one. And the new one is going to go in his presidential library. It cost him, I think they said $400 million to outfit that plane and make it safe for the president. And that has not been complete yet because they got to outfit it some more, so it's going to cost more money. So $400 million for him to fly a plane for only 2 years, and then it's going to be put away. That's what's happening.
No. I would have to say that it should stick with whoever the president is at the time. I don't think he should take it with him. I think that once he leaves office, this plane should be the Air Force plane for the next president.
Okay, handsome conservative. It should have never been taken, period. We have a functioning aircraft. There was no reason to take this plane to begin with to than it is more luxurious than the current jet he's got. And he made some kind of deal such as allowing them to train to fly F-14s in Idaho. He made some kind of deal with the taxpayer expense to get himself a better plane. No different than the UFC fight on the lawn or the military parade. All of this shit, the ballroom, the tribunal, he's taking our money to make himself live more lavish. That's all this amounts to.
Okay, I have a low opinion of politicians. We've talked about that. So I know we don't agree on all of the politicians, but if he's doing something dirty, I'll be the first one to say, yeah, okay, I agree with you. He shouldn't take it with him since it has been done and it does exist. It should go to the next president.
Well,
that's the only thing you should do with it.
Yeah, but it goes back to what you said. Congress is not enforcing it. Monacola, thank you very much for the love and support. Appreciate that. It goes back to what we just said earlier. Congress is just letting him do whatever he wants to do. I mean, there is a few $100 million worth of crude oil that was taken from Venezuela Trump had a press conference and they asked him, where did the money from that go? They didn't even answer it. So they stole oil from Venezuela, and for all we know, they may have pocketed it. We don't even know where the money from that went.
Well, I mean, if we don't know where the money from the oil went, I can't comment on that. I can comment on the plane because you said the plane was paid for by the taxpayers.
JPT, thank you.
So,
Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the plane goes, I think it should go to the next president.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already done. It's already been outfitted.
Yeah.
So it should go with what the next president.
Well, I'm just going to say I think the economy should be in better shape before you buying all these lavish gifts. Now he's getting a brand new helipad at the White House. Like, you just using our money to remodel the White House and live lavish. I mean, like, fix the country first. This isn't America first. This is Trump first. He's done exceptionally well since he's become president.
I would absolutely love it if some things around here would be fixed. I can agree with you on that. Gas could be lower. I'm not going to argue about that. I don't think you would either, considering your job. Groceries could be lower. I'm kind of getting tired of paying almost $50 for a hamburger. $40-50. There are a lot of things that I agree could be lower, and I would like to see that fixed. Rent could be lower. House payments could be lower. I mean, we're on the same page as that.
Well, when you say rent and house payments could be lower, that's something he promised to do. He said in a year your rents would be lower. He said in 12 months your energy bills would be cut in half. He actually promised to do that stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would have loved it if he did it, but I'm not surprised, Tim, that he didn't do it. I mean, yes, I hear what you're saying. He ran on doing these things. I agree with you. But like I said before, politicians will tell you what they want to hear, what you want to hear, so they get elected, and then they don't do it. So, even though he won it, he's not doing anything different than any other president. He's just not holding up to what he promised.
So he talked about lying Ted Cruz and not being a typical politician, but based on what you're saying, he's just another lying typical politician.
He's lied about some things. I would be a liar if I didn't admit that. He's lied about not getting the gas down. He's lied about not getting the groceries down. He's lied about not getting the rent down. Nobody's asking for free shit.
Iran begging for what about Iran begging for a ceasefire? Something he's been saying since the war began.
Iran, dude, I'll be honest with you. I don't trust Iran as far as I can throw them. I mean, there's nothing about them that has shown me that they're any more honest than our government. They're going to spend what's going on to make themselves look better than what they are and how things are going. I mean, it's all a game.
So then what it sounds like you're saying is that when you say I don't trust Iran any more than our own government, what you're basically saying is that if Iran says something and then our government says something, you don't feel confident you can trust either. In other words, our government is no more trustworthy than Iran.
Yes, Iran and our government will spend shit to make their point of view work. If they're being honest with their people. I'm sure they're doing a lot more damage and a lot more deaths than they're reporting. Just like we found out that we have more deaths than our government reported. That's just the way governments work. They're all crooked. It's tell the people what they need to hear and try to keep away what's going to get you kicked out of office.
I can't argue with that. I got to move it on, but that's crazy that we have gotten to a position, and I agree with you, that we're actually at war with a country, and we don't even know if we can trust our own officials any more than the country we're at war at. I mean, Trump has made it look, I didn't like George Bush at all, but I don't know if I would have believed Saddam Hussein over him. I actually believe the Iranian government more than I do Trump, because other than the weapons of mass destruction that Bush talked about, he wasn't lying every day. I just think Trump has told us so many lies. It's hard to believe him.
Let me say this before I do. I may not like some of the things going on in our government right now, and I may even admit that we need to start working with Americans here at home to help Americans out. But in no way would I have ever voted for Kamala Harris. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. She had time to get Oprah Winfrey and a bunch of rich people together to tell you to vote for her, but she couldn't answer basic questions that the American people were asking. So she was a bad politician.
Here's the thing, and I actually have said myself, I think Kamala Harris was not a good politician or a good candidate. I think she would have probably been a much better president. My opinion is different than yours on that, but I don't think she was a good candidate. But I will say this, when we're talking about how she could not, hold a press conference or she couldn't answer questions, I don't know if she gets worse judgment because Trump could hold a press conference and Trump could answer questions. He just told you a whole bunch of lies. So we got a difference between a woman that can't hold a press conference and a guy that can is just lying about everything. So I don't really know if Trump.
No. She was asked very clearly, multiple times, what would you do different than Joe Biden?
Yeah.
And she couldn't come up with one thing. Now, she knows she could have probably done something better than Joe Biden, so she lied about it. She made Joe Biden look better than he was, and that ended up costing her votes. Instead of saying what she would have done different.
Well, in hindsight, I look back at how Kamala Harris answered questions in interviews, and I look back at how Trump did it, and I don't see how Trump gets to win because, as I just stated, most of the answers Trump gave turned out to be lies, and not lies that he tried to make happen and just didn't succeed at. I'm talking about lies, stuff he knew he was not going to do. I mean, looking back at Trump's campaign promises, it's pretty clear he promised a lot of stuff he had no intentions of delivering at all. So he answered snappy and sounded really good compared to Kamala Harris, but he's making it all up. So I don't know if he gets any higher marks on his interviews than her.
Let's just say, given the information that we had at the time, okay, when they were both running, I don't think that, I still don't see that how Kamala Harris could have even won. Because, like you said, Trump was saying that he was going to do these things.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Kamala couldn't say one thing she would do different.
Yeah.
Other than lying about the president being in good condition, she couldn't say one thing that she could do different.
Yeah.
You know?
You get no argument from me on that, and that's why I think Trump has been so victorious, is that people are getting in the ring with a fighter that's not following the rules. I mean, like when you're debating him and he just throws out there people eating cats and dogs. I mean, you guys are trying to fight a guy by using traditional rules, and this guy ain't following any of that. Unless either you're going to break the rules to beat him or you're going to keep losing. I mean, he's in a boxing ring throwing elbows and knees. You're not going to win just throwing punches with this guy.
I'll tell you this real fast. I know I got to go. You got other people to bring up, but I'll tell you this. I love those debates. I will rewatch them over and over again. They were so good. Tim, they were good. They were real good. Other than cats and dogs thing.
Why don't you just put on a copy of Fleetwood Mac's Tell Me Lies? It would be the same thing with a better beat. I got to move it on, though. Appreciate it.
All right. Your local level.
Thank you.
Okay? We'll leave it there.
Appreciate it. Much love. He said he loved watching Trump's debates. He could just watch them over. The guy, especially now, if you go back and watch Trump's debates now, it's gonna be a game of spot the lies. Like you're gonna be to certainly watch him now and be like, that dude didn't have any intention of doing that, or here's another lie. I mean, because now you got hindsight. A lot of stuff Trump campaigned on and promised to do, never had any intentions of doing it. Forever wars. We're going to end forever wars. Obviously, he had no intentions of doing that. He's threatened, Greenland, Canada, Panama, Cuba, Venezuela, Iran, Syria, Nigeria. Like, what the fuck? This guy campaigned on No More Forever Wars. He's threatened all of those. Most of the countries I just named, we've actually done something in those countries. We've actually dropped a bomb or two in those countries. That guy campaigned on No Forever Wars. So you go back and watch a old debate of Trump, you're going to be like, damn, I didn't realize how much he was lying at the time. If you're clean, you don't need presidential immunity, says Nardy Boy. I agree with you 100%. Intelligent people already, what did you say there? Belie town? I don't get what that's saying. I don't know what you're saying. Because they were idiots and didn't pay attention to what he did on his first term. Well, look, if you judge Trump on his first term, I understand why you reelected him. He was not surrounded by loyalists. He actually had people in there that could come to him and tell him, Mr. President, we're not going to let you do this. And Congress was not willing to just let him do whatever. I mean, Trump actually stated in regards to Iran, without even requesting congressional approval to be at war, a whole civilization is going to die tonight. And Congress basically stood back and said, well, let's see if he actually means it or not. They actually gave him the permission to destroy all of Iran. The only way you could do that would be with nukes or something, right? He stated that, and Congress stood by and said, well, let's see what happens. We're not even at war. And he's threatening to kill a nation with 90 million people. We're not even officially at war with him. Congress said nothing. So can you blame him for thinking he's the king of the world? Anyway, in the comments, ouch, I was off by 2 weeks. You got me on 107 days, not 90, but much less than Trump's 706 days. Yeah, you're right. Kamala Harris only had 107 days. Trump was running for 706. Well, really, Trump was running from January 6th. But I will say this, in regards to Kamala Harris, 107 days, I put a lot of that on Biden, especially after that June 24th debate when he did terrible against Trump. He continued saying he was capable of running until August before he finally stepped out. And that was because the Democrats had to run him out. So a lot of Kamala Harris's short period of time to run, you got to blame some of that on Biden because he should have stepped out a lot sooner. So it is what it is. Anyhow, folks, I do appreciate the 44. I thought we had to reset the app. So that's what ended up happening. We had to reset TikTok. We had some issues. That's a damn lie. Trump ain't ran nowhere, not one day in his damn life. Remember Bone Spurs. He plays a lot of golf, though. You get a lot of walking with golf. He don't run, but you can get a lot of good cardio walking the links, assuming he's not jumping in a golf cart all the time. In expert surveys of presidential greatness, Joe Biden was ranked 14th best in U.S. history, placing him in the top third of all chief executives. The obvious pushback is going to be, we need to see who's doing the ranking, because MAGA is going to rank Trump number one. So we'd have to see who, in regards to the survey, who was questioned to do the rankings to come out with Joe Biden being top 14. Because if MAGA would put Trump at 1, Reagan at 2, shit, Nixon might even be in the top 5 the way they're going now. So I'd have to see who did the survey because all of that shit could be biased. Yes, Trump is going to be in the office for the next 2.5 years, but after November, he's going to be a lame duck who can't get nothing done once we flip House and Senate. Yeah, if you flip the House and Senate, they're going to get rid of him. If the Democrats win the House and Senate, they're going to impeach him immediately with the goal of kicking him out of office. One of the things I wanted to do a live one, I haven't done it on, but I do want to ask this in regards to my MAGA audience, the Self-Reliance Party. Why the hell aren't y'all more outraged about Mitch McConnell? You guys talked about Biden's cognitive abilities and he needed to step down. This motherfucker ain't even here. We saw Biden stumble over words, fall down, and trip a few times, and speak in incoherent. This dude is not even doing his job. Mitch McConnell disappeared on June 14th. Could you disappear from your job if you got injured and just send a picture of you in a hospital bed to your boss and still get the full paycheck for all that time? The people he worked for, the citizens of Kentucky. They haven't heard from this motherfucker in almost 2 months. Why is MAGA silent on that? You know damn well you would be all over it if a liberal senator disappeared like that. You guys are bitching about Feinstein serving in office until she died. You're totally silent on Mitch McConnell. I just want to point this out while we're having all this conversation about the Democrats can't win if they cheat and all that. Democrats cannot win elections, cannot do shit unless they cheat. There's a lot of cheating going on the right side of the aisle. Now, I mentioned Mitch McConnell, but keep in mind, he's also part of the reason you got a 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court. He cheated then. Now that he's either incoherent or, God forbid, dead, you're cheating on behalf of him again. This dude should be replaced. And that would be up to the governor of Kentucky. Is it Bashar, whatever his name is? That guy would have the right to replace him. But to prevent that from happening, it looks like we're trying to hide a dead man. But the Democrats can't win unless they cheat. None of this shit is legit. Stop that man from getting a Supreme Court pick that he had a legitimate right to do. And now we may have a dude that's green. He may not even be in human form anymore, operating as a senator. You're not going to probably hear a damn thing from Mitch McConnell for the rest of his term. You don't swear in another one until January next year. So they're going to keep telling us this dude is missing in action like he's in a fucking Chuck Norris movie. Just missing in action. The Democrats can't win unless they cheat, huh? You guys ignoring all this shit, huh? All right. Anyhow, folks, it's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Mitch McConnell just gone. In the comments, if McConnell was alive in August, they can't replace him. I'm just simply saying you got a sitting senator that hasn't done his job for almost 2 months, hasn't checked in with the people or anything. And MAGA's totally silent on that. Just sitting around collecting money for doing nothing. For doing nothing. You know, we're not even for certain the injuries are accurate because he really has done nothing. Sending you a picture of him in jeans smiling with a motherfucking paper on his lap like he is, you know, Guthrie's mom indicates she's still alive like he's a kidnap victim or something. That ain't enough. This dude, if he could take that picture, the way that picture looked, if you're capable of taking that picture, you can do a phone call to the governor who's demanding to hear from you or FaceTime. If you're capable of taking that picture, the spirits he looked like he was in when he took that picture, then do it on FaceTime. Do it for your constituents so that they can see that you're still fucking alive and this ain't some type of Republican hoax to keep the Republicans in power, which is exactly what I think it is. It's your boy Tim the Handsome Liberal. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Follow the program if you're watching on TikTok, Instagram, Substack, or Clapper. By the way, for folks who always ask, how can you actually call in? Those are the apps, The Handsome Liberal, the same name across all platforms. Substack, Clapper, TikTok, Instagram. We do have X and Rumble, same platforms. I haven't went live on X and Rumble yet, but I plan on it. In fact, we have a Truth Social page as well. But for going live, call us on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, or Clapper. And if you're watching on YouTube, which does not allow me to bring folks up live, still give your boy a sub. I'll see you mañana. Take care. I'm out.